something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my funland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. the storm. Things aren't as they were before. You best start bracing. Did you think you could keep us out? Shut the gates, forget us now. Tides are changing. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? Ground beneath your feet, with a whisper in the trees. Do you feel us watching? Hunger in our eyes, victories on our minds. It's our time to rise. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution.
It's Friday night, and you know what we love on a Friday night? We love some Apex Legends. This is the EGL Gold Tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. And we're continuing the action tonight. And joining me is none other than Cyndalive. Cynda, how are you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling great. It's looking great. What I'm excited about is World's Edge, Thendo. As you know, it's been a while since we casted together, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me onto the cast here. I have not seen World's Edge, and it's giving me PTSD, so I'm so excited to be casting these games with you tonight and getting to see my favorite map in play with all these juicy lads that are ready to come and jam.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an action-packed night here, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting off the stream, obviously, with Group B versus E, and they'll be playing 3 rounds, and then after that, we'll have Group C versus F. And all these teams are playing still in the gold tier. They're still 80 teams, shuffling around and battling it out, trying to gather some points so they can make it on to the next stage, the platinum stage. where things are going to start to heat up. But yes, for now, we have to look at these next 3 World's Edge games for this group, Cinder. And I mean, if we were watching yesterday's games were just action packed, and the storyline in the first series was ATK. ATK was a dominating force last night.
As they always are and always have been and probably will be, because, they just perform at a different standard. They're constantly practicing day in, day out. They play against some serious individuals, both internationally and locally. So, they're always just training, and it's always exciting to watch them play. But, take apart from ATK, is there any other standalone teams that we should be looking out for tonight, Thendo?
Well, I'm definitely looking at Ghosted Herd. The last time that they were on stream, they made a big showing in some fights that they were inside, and they made it towards the very end as well in a couple of their games. I'm looking at Ascend Esports. They might be interesting. SNMK2, not yesterday's SNMK3, who actually did a little bit, not so well compared to what we saw them do in the last stream, but hey, we'll see if their counterparts here can make a better showing in. And I mean, yeah, as the lobby's starting to fill up, we've got a couple of organizations. This lobby isn't the kind that I would say is too stacked with those big name orgs. So this is a really nice little lobby to kind of just discover some new talent, I feel, Cinder, some people that we don't know about. And that's why I'm looking at Ghosted Herd, because they really impressed me the last time they were on stream.
Okay, awesome. I think we need to also address, the horse in the room here, Thendo. There's a few PC players, there's a few console players. Now, have the discussion of, are the teams at an advantage or disadvantage when it comes to mouse and keyboard versus controller?
Oh man, that is just one of those Twitter battles.
I gotta put you there. I have to. You gotta say it.
That's one of those Twitter battles that I don't think will be won anytime, because mouse and keyboard, obviously, you've got the movement on your side, the precise aiming with the your mouse and whatnot. But obviously, we have to counter in with the aim assist. The aim assist, I mean, it's in the name. It's assisting your aim.
That's true. I've seen you play a couple of controller games, and you're not too bad yourself. So
yeah, I mean, once you feel the power of the roller, it's definitely hard to put it down. And a lot of players do find that they transition over to PC and still find themselves using the controller, right? But yeah, it's a mixed lobby. We've been having mixed lobbies. It's been a lot of fun. But the more regimented teams, the ones with more experience, so definitely the teams that have been coming up on top. And coming back to this lobby, I don't know. It's going to be quite interesting to see if we're going to have a kind of repeat where we have a Nimble storyline, an ATK storyline. Actually, last night we had a Vibing storyline where Vibing was really dominating in their first 2 games. They're just vibing the whole night through. And I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure if we're going to have that. We might have multiple winners coming into this first series.
Hopefully. So it is going to be interesting, but I mean, what's in the crafter today? I'm pretty sure it's the Turbo right now. Crafter. So do you think that's going to be, we're going to see a lot of Havoc plays, a lot of Devotion plays? I mean, come on, you can't deny that those are some 2 powerful weapons, especially once you equip them with that hop up. Is that something we're going to see rampant? Because finding energy ammo over all the 301s or maybe the rampages that are going to be picked up, do you think that's going to be a big issue going to the late game?
I love that you brought up the turbocharger, because last night all I could speak about was Dasuika on the Devotion, because I mean, once you got the turbocharger on the Devotion, it basically becomes a Spitfire, and you can just kind of launch yourself into a couple of fights, deal as much damage as you can, and you might find yourself getting 1 or 2 knocks in the process. So we'll see, right? Flatlines are always in the crowd. We saw a couple of flatlines, and people are taking the time. Definitely considering the lobby isn't too full, right? We haven't been having the lobbies up to the full capacity during the gold tier stage, right? That will definitely change when we move on to platinum. So there's a lot of drop spots that are open and a lot of, room for teams to be rotating.
Interesting. I mean, considering we won't, I don't think we're going to have a full lobby tonight. It is going to give a lot of points of interest away. So, I can't imagine there's going to be too many hot drops unless, one team is looking to creep another. But I think ultimately everyone's going to have their point of interest and everyone's going to choose to do that early rotation. Considering the way that the lobbies have progressed over these course of weeks, do you think that there's any particular rotation time that these teams should be looking for, like 3 minutes in, because obviously, having a full lobby, you'll have a lot of contested points of interest. You might cross paths with someone, but because that's not the case tonight, you think that might just alleviate some pressure off the teams and they'll just maybe opt for a later rotation?
You'd think that, right? But had a big storyline going on between Thomas Moore and not giving up the survey drop spot, and so was OG. And the fight waged, OG lost the first game and the second game. They finally got their revenge, but only after their drop spots on the side of Thomas Moore, who felt that, hey, maybe we don't need to contest them. Maybe we play a little bit safer. But OG was definitely looking for those points. So it'll be, a lot of teams' intuition in terms of whether they want to be a little bit more aggressive, kind of the drop spots, and go for those contests, because it's it's still in the gold tier stage, a viable playstyle. But statistically, it's not good when you drop on a team. Like, your chances of coming within the lower echelon of the lobby, are just skyrocketed. So I just think we'll see how everybody jabs things out, right, in this first game, right? And with it being a 3-game series, I always talk about how that first game is really crucial in understanding how the lobby is moving and flowing, so you don't get caught up on those weird rotations that ultimately get you dead.
True, very true. And speaking of rotations, it also comes down to compositions as well. That certain compositions can help with your rotations. The addition of Valkyrie is going to be extremely useful, and I can imagine, especially if we look outside just of the local scene, a Valkyrie is it's a meta pick right now. I haven't seen many Maggies coming into play. The Pathfinder still, our boy, our OG Pathfinder, he's there, but he's just like not as viable as he used to be. Do you think there's going to be a lot of diversity from what you've seen throughout these past games in the past weeks? Or do you think something's going to change tonight, considering that, we go again into this gold, into platinum series?
Well, looking at the fact that Chambi last night was playing Bangalore, anything can happen. We had a couple of mirages here and there. The caustic picks have been a little bit fruitful as well. And then, we got the odd Revenant players coming through with their Revtain meta. But yeah, Legends is always interesting right now because there's no real clear-cut meta besides the tried and true ones that we know that are, meta in the bigger regions as well. Like you mentioned, Valkyrie, Gibby's always being picked, Wraith. We've been getting a lot of Ashes as well because of the ability of, her TP is quite instant and easy to just move around with, and compared to having to look towards Wraiths. Teleport,
it's such a scary thing though, because like once you commit with your Ash out, that's it. You're gone. It's not a two-way. So it's, I don't know, man. I don't know how I would feel about the Ash. Like, I think it is viable, and yes, if you want to get ahead of a team and split second without any damage being taken, at least for the most part, sure. But man, it's a scary thing, especially when you get into top 3 or those top 4 situations, the zone 6, zone 7, that's when, like, is it really that useful?
Yeah, I mean, it can be really useful, right? And there's a big debate whether the Ash ult is an offensive or defensive type of portal, because if you look at Race Portal, it serves for a couple of purposes, right? Let's say a good scenario is when you have a knocked teammate and you need to get them out of that position that's just, you won't be able to cover. The portal is a lot better to use compared to, let's say, the Ash portal, which you first have to be really close to that player, and then you still have to aim around, and you're both going to be in that same kind of spot, right? Whereas that Wraith TP, you could be coming from a different spot to bail out that player. I just think it depends on how well the team is put together in terms of, like, are they playing aggressively or defensively with it, right? Because you can always just catch team off by God, just jump them. It's happened a couple of times so far inside the competition. But I mean, the lobby's starting to fill up, and still looking at Ghost of the Herd walk away with wins tonight. Looking at them getting maybe like at least 2. Just that's my bet. I'm not trying to cast this custom here, Cinder. But yeah, I mean, their team looks solid compared to at least what we've seen from the other teams thus far.
I mean, can you really say that though? We got water toasters. Water toasters, Thendo. Come on, man. Look at that team. That's a crack team. Because they got water and toasters and the same thing. Anyway, what about Violent Wolves? Speak to me about Violent Wolves. How have they been looking in these weeks?
We haven't seen much from them, right? Because they're one of those teams that have kind of been dying off the drop and getting caught in the early rotations. And I mean, if we're looking at the lobby tonight, it's gonna be pretty empty, ladies and gentlemen. It's looking like, and I mean, it's kind of becoming understandably so, right? Because you kind of get to a weird point in this in the tournament with the top 80 teams where the top of the pack have really broken ahead. You're looking at DNMK with something like almost 400 points by now, And then if you're looking at just where 40th place is, maybe somewhere around, the 50-point threshold. So a lot of teams may be feeling discouraged, but, you got to employ the teams that are coming back into it and are looking to, get into this and still give it their all. And with that, we're loading into this, and it's time to look at the character selection.
Oh, that's my favorite part. I always try to analyze exactly what these players are thinking when they're going through their composition, because composition is extremely important. Both mid game, going towards that end game as well. But in the early stages, it's pretty much just leading, getting what you can, and then just rotating in. And it comes down to that resource management. Have you got enough bats? Have you got everything you need? And especially with these additional crafting points and crafting areas, and as well as the to utilize that throughout the course of time in the map. But what about, we're looking at care packages. Again, we speak about the lobby being a little bit, lackluster, a little bit empty. We're going into, not really any congestion unless, teams are rotating early, getting into these points of interest and then just holding it down. Comes down to this care packages. You're looking at the Vault that's still in the care package. You're looking in the Kraber. I mean, how many Kraber plays have we been seeing throughout these weeks?
Not much, actually. I can remember one distinctive, maybe two really good Kraber plays. But looking at the lobby that we do have here, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing the Gibbies, the Bloodhounds being picked up. And this is the team of SLX, I believe, coming as champion squad. I wonder what shenanigans they were up to before this.
They won a pub. They're going to make it happen.
11 squads in the server. So you're already sitting pretty, right? Because if you're looking at placement points, it's not going to be too tough for you. But we'll see if teams drop on top of each other.
Dude, let's be honest. You just need to just wait for one team. It's top 10, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's money in the bank.
Don't even need to look for kills. Looking at the zone is going to be pulling towards the fragment side. And I wonder if we're going to get a nice, juicy fragment ending. I mean, it will actually serve quite well to this purpose with such an empty lobby, right? Everybody might be able to find a building in time. And maybe one or two teams going towards that fragment. 3 teams? No, those flying past.
Oh, just going over, yeah. I mean, at this point, this whole entire lobby could all land a fragment and just RNG onto building, any building if they choose to. But that's not going to be the case. We do have Team TKO who seem to have been contested. How are we seeing congestion with this kind of lobby? But it doesn't even matter because we're going to just watch Leaf's POV as he's pushing up towards this Horizon player. Unfortunately, only working with the white, and he has to get away, but unfortunately not in time. That's going to be Ghost Psycho, putting him to rest before he can even hit that Q, and Ghosted Herd. They're going to put first blood on the board.
And I told you guys to watch out for Ghosted Herd. They look good shaping up for this one, and they're sitting quite high with the points thus far on the leaderboard. And they'll be able to snag that little KP. They will get away just for now, but won't be safe. TKO is also playing with, was that 2 players only? So not starting off pretty well for them. Dynasty game.
Thendo, 11 squads in the lobby. You got 20 odd points of interest. How are we seeing such an early contest? What is the mentality?
I don't know, man. It's also kind of that same mentality where we always have to compare. Yes, there's less players in the lobby, but then there's less points to go.
Yeah, that's
so you have to kind of look for those points. Maybe if you're looking for that cheeky hot drop, and you never know who you're going up against on that first drop. Unfortunate for you, TKO, it is a Ghosted Herd. Weed now, the only one up. Banner? Man, I just forget about the banner, honestly. Just play the solo.
Nah, go for it. Come on, Weed. Come on.
They're gonna drop on him. Oh no, this is looking tragic.
And that was a
actually done as the
Valkyrie as
game.
well. But did he see him? It doesn't seem like he did. Oh, well, okay. Now they know. Nice, good job, Weed. But he's going to take that jump pad. He's going to get out. I can't imagine that he's going to be in any struggle, maybe. Nah, he's going to casually just walk up the hill, admire the scenery, maybe touch some grass. He's having a good time. But unfortunately, he is one player down. Ah, poor Leaf. I mean, do you think he could have actually just taken the Geyser and maybe gotten the banner? Perhaps? Possible?
Yeah, it could have been a play, honestly, for him to take that Geyser, go back for the banners, but I mean, hey, still pretty dangerous for him. I mean, look, they've really shifted out of that area. Well, not really, actually. They're still quite close to Big Mod. I was checking where Nope was in Lava City, but they're still guarding that banner, so there was really no hope for that. So Weed will have to just play solo for now. Quite a bit of congestion at the top side of the map here. Where we find the Evesports coming out of Survey Camp. They're looking kitted up. They got that blue. They got that gold. Got some decent loot coming in. They got that R301 as well to work with PK. It's a really lethal combo as of late. R301, will it ever be stopped, Cinder? That's a real question.
That is true. Look, I am personally one of the biggest fans for the 301. 301, 3 times, you know, that's my bread and butter. And since inception of the weapon, since season 1, I have never seen that weapon fall out of meta. It has always been a go-to for those medium to long range fights. It's consistent and it's easy to find ammo for. Generally, there's always going to be someone who's either carrying light or heavy ammo. It's just those 2 stock standard ammos that just never fall out. So, you know, I'm all in favor for it, but you know, you start to look towards the new additions of, you know, the Mastiff coming in the earlier seasons. You have the addition of the charge rifle being nerfed, going up and down. It's just like R301. When have you seen it being patched? Just never. It just doesn't. It's balanced. It's a perfect weapon, in my opinion.
Some nice cracks coming from Horizon here from Ascend Esports. And you're right, it is quite a balanced weapon. Because it requires a lot of skill, right? It's not easy to really control that recoil sometimes and to hit every single shot, even though you get the likes of Cheetah Boy and Rexu making it look easy as butter. But this engagement is taking a little bit of time, might draw some people towards the area. We do have a couple of squads here. Shots flying through and Trizzle unable to connect for much. They're just gonna hold this high ground. At least they have that to work with for now. Ascend Esports. And I mean, now we're gonna talk about the flatline because we spoke about the R3. But wait a minute, wait, no damage on that shot? What? Those look like it was connecting.
It was very, very close. I mean, gotta look at the consistency of the charge rifle. I don't know, if you don't lead with it properly, if you don't lead your shots, it can be such a hit and miss kind of thing.
It can be a 3 damage weapon.
Yeah,
Worse than
exactly. But it's so good though if you can just track it properly. But it is one of those tracking weapons, and you do need to make sure that you are using it properly. But Dynasty Gaming, they seem to got themselves into a little fight here. It's greasy. Your boy Concho is sending those wingman shots, and now they're gonna send it on that knock because they have that knock. But if they don't push soon, they no, Gibby Dome. The res hasn't come out though. It seems like he's picking him up. Now the res has come out, but that's going to leave the solo Valkyrie to try and hold it down. But they're starting to push him. Double Gibby Dome has been popped, so it's going to be a huge fight going down here. But they are going to make quick work of it. RGC Gaming defending that. No, they weren't. Sorry, they were the aggressors, and they made it look easy. My apologies.
Good fight coming in from them. Really good 3v3. And there's some easy points on the board. Down to 10 squads now, and there's the easy top 10, as we spoke about, right? Just needed one to go down. SLX hanging around Harvester right now. And they need to start making their rotation in towards a more central position. Johnny's Rotties, it's just charge rifle after charge rifle. It was yesterday, the charge rifles as well. I mean, yeah, man, cool. Sniper meta, I'm totally down for it. It's definitely yielding for some good damage on those Evo level ups. Sentinel in the hand of John T. As they're trying to make this rotation out.
Gonna make this rotation as it seems it's pretty okay. I mean, playing this edge game, it's a very smart idea. They're going to pop that Valkyrie ulti, just make sure that they go in with as much information as possible. And that's what makes Valkyrie just so useful, man. I mean, as you're cruising in here, you get a full overview of where you're going. You have any persons out in the open, you get to get them scanned, and you have that information as well mid-flight. It's just such a pivotal rotational hero. And that's why it's so good to be, you know, a Valk main, I guess. If you're going to be any main, you should be a Valk main, because it's very useful for comp. But speaking of useful compositions, there is a Bloodhound, a Valkyrie, and an Ashe on MSMK2. That is an interesting combination. I mean, they have a lot of information gathering, as well as that quick TP. But again, you know, the deliberation of whether the one-way TP is good. If you're aggressive, I guess. I think if you're an aggressive team, it fits the playstyle, right? But, I mean, you can't... I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about it, Thendo. Gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's a bit of a interesting combination, right? Because you don't have a defensive legend in the likes of Gibby to kind of hold the squad down, kind of be that center point. And you kind of always have to be moving because you can't stand still. Staying still in one spot, you won't be able to defend it, and now they're getting shot at over here. Reckless is taking up a little bit of damage. It looks like Johnny's rotis. I'm looking to get aggressive onto this. No angles right now for John T, but might find something over the wall. And they're just hiding away at the cover, but ooh, the Valkyrie is looking to peek and is running. The shot flies, but it goes haywire. Won't find much. And they'll just try push up on this now. Zone, 1 minute 30 out. So, gotta be quick with this one.
Very, very true. Oh, that Rampage. Such a devastating weapon. Especially when you can pick up that thermite, boost it up, and just go grrr. It's like a Spitfire on its own. Crazy, crazy. But look at the rotations here. There's so many teams that are still yet to find their footing in zone, and they're just going to get caught out here. Look at NSK Track. He's going down a little bit low, but I'm sure he's going to be fine as his teammate Reckless Abandon is pushing up here to try and buy some time. Still looking for this player, but unfortunately he needs the shield at some point. But no, he's not going to do it. He's going to go straight for those wingman shots. Unfortunately, not landing anything as of yet. But that has bought some time for the rest of his team to push up and aggress up with him, heal up, and they're going to lay down the fire now that they're sitting pretty unhealthy. But they got to make a bit more of a play here. He's going to throw that thermite. Look,
oh, there's a team with the mountain right now.
The third party.
Yeah, there's just third parties everywhere. The charge rifle now is coming through to grief from limits all the way the distance here, sitting at Lava Siphon. And that's just an aggressive TP, I believe, from the Wraith player. So this fight is really waging up. And they're just stuck out in the open, but it's a bit of a far distance. Oh, wait! Oh my gosh! As I say that, John T is like, no. It's not far from me, and he's still going at it with this Sentinel. Showing why the sniper meta right now in the lobby is definitely a good one, right? Because there'll be a lot of these long-range fights. There's not that many people in the lobby, so if you see someone from far, you definitely need to try and capitalize on any damage that you can find. And now Johnny's rotis are actually going to go for the redeploy on top of that, so they might be able to catch up with that knock, maybe catch up with that fight. It might be starting to be cleaned up. Contro's in the kill feed now, where we saw all these fights happening. We'll see exactly what their play is. The side.
That's crazy. It was a good rotation. They're going to rotate towards this geyser, get inside this building, and get themselves cozy as we turn over to Ghosted Herd, who have seen this happen. Maybe applied a few little shots here and there just to see what kind of armors they were going to match up against. But they seem pretty good, pretty happy with what they've been able to accomplish. They've had that crafting and they're getting some extra resources. But Kala, look at Kala, is he going to get it? Oh my goodness. Supposed to get so far, but his friend Nopo is gonna R99 this Ashe, and he's gonna be able to get one down, but he's being snared, so he can't aggress just yet. He's gonna wait for his team to push up alongside him, and another knock coming out from Kala onto Frets. There's just one player remaining, and they're gonna hunt for this. They're gonna push for this. They know exactly where it's happening, and at least they're gonna secure another 2K.
Yeah. Ghosted Herd. Definitely doing well here. Calamitous.
Careful. Relax.
It has to use the phase to get out of dodge. They're only down to 2 players here, SLX, and we just saw them in a really good position earlier on. So I wonder what happened in between the lull period. And I mean, yeah, that's not the efficient way of being out in the open and dodging bullets, but seems to be working for the Valkyrie player, at least for now. As SLX just tried to make their way over the hill. And Grease Gaming, the team that are popping those shots off. They're just holding things down at this compound at the outside. I thought that was a Valkyrie deploy. It's just actually a replicator popping in. And I mean, this zone finish is a bit gruesome. It's a bit, it's not nice.
It's not, but look how much it keeps pulling towards that western area. And I don't know, man. Overlook, it's a bit of a tough one to handle sometimes. But it seems like Toasters... Have they not got the res yet? I feel like they put down a low ulti but haven't res their teammate. It's just me.
It be like that sometimes, man. Loot is important. What are you talking about? Infinity?
What do you mean? How? Are you putting a low ult down where your teammate's lying on the ground? Man, that's savage. But it doesn't matter because we're looking at Infinity Laggers and Beba, Verified, and Kenny. They look pretty composed. They look pretty happy with what they're able to accomplish here. Got a foothold in the zone, got some high ground, shooting some shots at some teams, trying to level up their Evo shields. It's a good play, it's fair play. Yeah. Also running this Gibby. This Gibby in such a late zone, and depending on where the zone... Ooh, okay. Bit of an Arcstar crack. We're going to hear the sound for that. But Gibby going into this late game zone, if it is not pulling towards the building, these Gibbies... Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Look at the Bloodhound. What's happening there?
Yeah, why is he so detached from the rest of the squad?
Just vibing here.
Just sitting lonely at the top of this building now. Maybe they'll get the rest onto it. Oh no. What the Toasters is just like, nah, we're not having it. Maybe we'll get your banner, but nah, it's not looking good for you right now. Where did you even res at this point? And this is quite interesting, Cyndalive, because I thought that coming into this one with an empty lobby that we might find, you know, teams just running around, death matching and killing each other quickly. But we're actually going to have a pretty jam-packed end game here because teams have been avoiding each other, just shooting from distances, popping a few kills here and there. A couple of teams have gone down, but for the most part, there's still a large portion of the squads up and standing. Maybe not in their full capacity, but hey, it's getting harder and harder to get that first place finish. And now this zone pool is going to be quite tragic for a lot of those teams down the south side, and some shots being exchanged there. There's a player that's knocked over there.
Exchanged they are, and that's Shrizzle going to be exchanged for some nice delicious KB, as Greece seem to be holding... I mean, they've been in this area, they've held this tunnel for predominantly the last two zones, and they've done very, very well at it, getting any straddlers that are likely to come over here. As we see the Bloodhounds guy, I'm not going to pick up anything. I'm sure they're quite happy. As you look at the zone, that zone again, pulling a little bit more western, but now I'm pretty sure we're going to see a southern shift, and it's going to end out in the open. There's a couple of rocks to play behind, but there is absolutely no buildings remaining. Maybe this pylon, but other than that, all these teams are going to be forced into a very difficult predicament. 8 squads, 19 players, as we go into Zone 5. 4.
Yeah, Zone 4 coming in soon.
Been a day.
Still 2 zones to play for. We gotta be careful at the top of that roof. Gonna take some damage there. Verified. It's a bit quiet because there's a lot of teams that are just hugging this edge of where Overlook is and just trying to hold it out. Maybe they're praying for the zone pool because I don't think a lot of teams will have that info, right? No one's got that opportunity to get that beacon scan. And flying quite high over here, nope. Trying to check if anybody's below, but for now, doesn't seem much. But there is a team there. To see that Them might fly out. This here got a good spot, but like you said, Cyndalive, it's going to be pulling towards that open area very soon, and they won't be good for much longer.
Very true, but they do have the race, and they do have that portal, so they can make some use. Maybe, perhaps, but again, these pylons, there we go. The Bangalore out is going to come down.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Why?
He just fell off the map.
He fell off the map and then was in zone, but wasn't like off the map. Oh man.
Yeah, we'll come back to that, but Ghosted Hurt seemed to be flying up high as the Bangalore alt does come down. It did chip away, but not enough to... cause any grief, as they consistently start to cause grief. And little weed there, unfortunately our lonely rat has been thirsted out. But look at the zone once again, it's closing, forcing all these players, and there's only a fair share of territory for them to play with. And man, oh man, I would love to know what happened to that Wraith. As a Ryzen now does pop out from one of those teams here, but when the turnover to Greece Gaming, you're making the aggressive here with that Valkyrie missiles to initiate, see if they can get some chip damage, maybe a few stuns, but they continue to push up as Concho looking for pick, followed by his Bloodhound. Look at that, Waking Artist is going to down Shocker, and they're going to continue to aggress onto this fight, get some KP as much as they possibly can. And they are going to wipe it up nice and clean as they find the last remaining player. 3 squads left, Thendo. We were talking about the end of zones. We were talking about how hard it's going to be. But, you know, we're in a state where it's only 3 people remaining, 7 players up. It's going to be pretty clear cut at this point. Whoever has a decent position, decent armor, and decent aim is going to pull away with this, it seems.
Ooh, Calamitous with the beams at the top of this high ground. And I thought they might not have a lot of room to work with on top of these pylons, but they do. Here is Ghosted Herd taking an aggressive position and just laying down fire to everybody at the bottom. Gotta be careful though, Omen is almost cracked for Calamitous. And they do spot out that there is a team at the bottom, yeah? And yeah, all the teams just died instantly, right? We were at 9 or so, it was actually 7, and now it's 3. So, these teams just gonna have to hold it out. There's actually just a single solo, I believe, at the bottom there, or is it a duo?
No, it's definitely a solo. 3 plus 3 is 6.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, I forget that as observers, we get to see how many people are in regardless. And I'm so used to the question mark.
So good. Oh my god, and they seem to have found him, because that's going to be him eliminated. It's now 2 full squads going at it. Ghosted Herd, and they seem to have the high ground. They seem to be in a very favorable position, but that's not going to stop Greece Gaming, who have been running rampant in this lobby thus far, to try and make something happen. And Valkyrie trying to take an aggressive angle, gets a little bit humbled. He's going to have to fall down, he's going to have to heal up, but Thendo, Ghosted, they're looking pretty strong. They have all 3 players on top of the high ground. The zone is very much in their favor. How do you see this one playing out?
I mean, we're looking at this and we're thinking it will definitely be probably a win for Ghosted Herd, and especially with the Nope trying to make this aggressive play, but that Bloodhound scan is going to give up a lot of information that the one is separated, but it is the Valkyrie player, so she can still get back up there, and the armor crack's going to be big onto the Gibby, and they might maybe try aggress on towards that damage, but nothing just yet, right? There's still 45 seconds before the zone has to close Cinder, so they might just try and bleed it out a little bit.
Ooh, Nope, calm down, man. Getting a little overzealous, but he is going to be able to get that battery off and return back to the battle. As Ghost Psycho is able to get the crack onto the Gibby, but they've got to make a play at some point. In the Ryzen ulti coming out from Calamitous as he's going to go to that high ground, gets the stick, or not the stick, but the Arcstar crack, but they need to push onto this. They need to get a knock. They need to make something happen. It seems like neither player or any of them have been able to do so, as the Gibby did buy the opposing team some time, but Calamitous able to find Puncher on the side there, and now Nop looking to finish up another player that was able to get down low with that R99. He's going to put it out. Goes Psycho onto Waking Artist, and the last remaining player, 1v3 situation. Ghosted Herd all the way every single day of the week.
Every single day of the week, Ghosted Herd takes that. And what an ulti coming in from Calamitous to just open things up a little bit for them, because that really put the team of Greece under a lot of pressure. And I mean, it's a calamity. What happened?
It's a calamity, right?
All right. And I mean, prediction-wise, hey, I'm sitting good right now, man. I was like, hey, Ghosted Herd, strong team coming into this one, and they got that dub, starting us off nice and strong over here. And I mean, looking at just the rest of the lobby, I don't know if anyone will catch up to just the way that they're playing. They seem to be, clear-cut with their comms. They've got some good rotations, and they work well as a trio. So, first one to Ghosted Herd, Cinder though. Greece, they gave a lot there, We saw them fight that one tunnel fight where it was a straight-up 3v3. There was an initial knock. They pushed into the dome, and they won it. And since then, they've just coasting up until the very end.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you look at some of these teams and you see the standalones. You see the ones that have been through it, that have the experience, that have put in the time, that have put in the effort, and they just stand out. And generally, in these kinds of seedings, we all go through the stage of just trying to filter out the good from the bad, from the no-shows to the... And these are the teams that are the ones that you are seeing... Oh, my apologies. The ones that you're seeing going out to the top and the ones that are holding it down every single game. Those are the ones that we're going to see in the finals. And those are the ones are going to be challenging each other for the prize money.
Indeed, it will be the ones challenging each other for the prize money. And I'm just wondering now, if you're Ghosted Red, you're looking at that platinum tier. Like, it might not be this easy for them, right? Because then we're going to have a higher cut of players there. But I mean, yeah, it was an odd game, I think, Cyndo, because we had an early contestant. There was a little bit of fighting. We had a really weird lull period where there was a lot of rotating. And then everyone decided to rotate in front of Lava Siphon, and there were just all these fights were breaking loose. We saw, Johnny's rotis over there holding down the top of Lava Siphon with those snipers. There's a lot of charge rifle play as well. I mean, there's a lot of talking points coming out of that one. But yeah, the charge rifle for me is where we're going to have to start to unpack. It's becoming such a pick. It's becoming so meta inside these lobbies, and you can definitely see why.
Indeed. I mean, it's very pivotal, and I think it's not just at a local standard, from an international standard as well. You generally pick up a charge rifle or a sentinel or something that can poke in the beginning of the game as you're making these rotations, maybe picking it off at a third party, getting a few shots in here and there that might just secure you a kill, especially with things like the wingman. But I mean, the wingman, it's kind of you've got to be good with the wingman to obviously get those picks, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's points, KP at the end of the day for free, because I mean, what are you really committing? Nothing, really, ultimately. And the charge rifle is just super, super consistent in being able to do that. And I think it's very important that the more these teams start to realize and play against each other at this kind of level, that it is a possibility that you are going to be charge rifle. You can't just freely walk around in the zone or across the map just expecting to get away with it. You know what I mean? It's just not how the game works. So as you say, snipers are just so pivotal, and especially even at this level in these games.
Yeah, and that's why you always look at a team like when we saw them having a Bloodhound, an Ash, and a Valkyrie without that Gibby, when charge rifles and snipers are so prevalent in the lobby. You don't have that extra bit of cover to work with, and when you are caught out in the open, it's going to be such a big problem for you. And I mean, yeah, now looking towards the second game, I mean, we're going to have to look at some of the, teams that were lagging behind to maybe try and pick it up a little bit. We saw Johnny's rotis, were rotating quite a lot, and they were trying to get themselves in some good positions, but didn't quite make it towards that very end. Didn't see too much of Ascend Esports. I mean, I think Ascend was the team that got taken out by Ghosted Herd, if I'm not mistaken, when they rotated.
I think it was, but I think it was Horizon, who's the Wraith, who unfortunately fell off the map. I would love to know what had happened there.
Yeah, actually.
We changed POV and she's sliding, she's out, she's chill, it's done, it's over. What could have happened? What was the likelihood of her being, she queued, she maybe missed the railing? We need to know. We have to know. We have to know at some point. Someone's got to send a message and just tell us what happened. Oh, man. But as you say, like, it is interesting considering how small our lobby is tonight, or at least in this grouping, and how many teams are actually making it to the end game. Even the ones that are lagging behind, as you said, at least they're making it to, I would say 4th to 5th zone. We're not seeing exactly teams getting rolled straight off the bat.
Yeah, pretty much it's been, at least it's shaping up for stacked lobbies at stacked end games. And as long as everybody continues playing the way they were in that first one, we'll probably be seeing a similar look inside the second game, as most of the teams are now also loading into the lobby, and we are getting ready for that second game. It is the EGL Gold tier here, ladies and gentlemen, powered by Evesports and sponsored by HV and Omen. We just finished the first game. Ghosted Herd came up on top. They're looking good. They're looking clean. But now TKO do have the third member in Cinder, and I'm wondering if they might have a little bit of action to show us. We saw them in the beginning. They landed on top of Ghosted Herd, right? And they got taken out, and we only saw Weed just trying to solo Octane around the Geyser area just to survive a little bit long. But now, with the full roster up, could things be different? Do they still contest Ghosted Herd, do you reckon?
Is it worth it? Is it really worth it with so many points of interest at your disposal? No. Just jump somewhere. No one's there. Get your loot and settle it in the end game. I mean, it's just not worth it, bro. It never is, because you lose rotational time. You maybe lose a player or banner. There's just no benefit unless you are so absolutely confident to wiping the squad. But even then, you're still losing time. You're losing resources. You're losing a position in the end game where 8 other teams are sitting waiting for you. You know what I mean? Is it going to be beneficial for your placement?
Placement is a big one, right? Because yes, with the lower, people in the lobby, easier to get placement, but we're now seeing it is actually harder in this lobby because people are trying to survive all the way till the very end. And I mean, we had 7 squads up when that zone closer was making its 5th rotation, and all of a sudden everybody dropped. And you don't want to be those teams that are in that spell, right? And it's kind of just like chaos when the zone is closing in and there's all these fights breaking loose, and you don't want to be one of those teams that's in that mix. You want to be Ghosted Herd, who are just sitting and watching everything happen in front of them. But no longer shall we wait. The next game is starting, ladies and gentlemen, here. And we're wondering, will Ghosted Herd come up on top again, Cinder? What do you think?
Look, I don't want to put my money on it just yet. I mean, they were looking strong, they were looking fierce, but this is Apex. Anything can happen. The third party can come along and change that very, very quickly, as we did see. Especially towards the that one choke there on the hill. Anyone can make a play or make a problem for another team, and that seems to be the case in this battle royale. It just is what it is, kind of. You can find yourself with the best loot in the game. You can find yourself on one of the best rotations and the best timings, but it doesn't always mean that you're going to win. But we'll see. I think considering how consistent they were last game, they look poised, they look ready. I can't see a reason why they can't take it for sure.
Into the character select now, as we have a little bit of a gander at what everybody's picking.
Pick Watson.
No, there was one team that played Watson. Man, the name's eluding me, but yeah, we've seen some Watson.
Hey, my boy Water Toaster's pulling out that caustic. Hey, I want to see some caustic, please. The gas daddy himself. I mean, it's interesting. Look at that. If we are looking in the picks, we have 2 caustics on the board, 1 seer. A seer, now that's an interesting one. Do you remember how prevalent he was in the compositions, last season? And now, when do you see a seer?
When do you see a seer, actually? The problem with seer is that they hard nerfed him, eh? They were like, yo, guys, we released an OP character. We need to nerf it real quick. And that's actually what happened in comparison to like Valkyrie, who came in and people thought she deserved a nerf, but they haven't touched it, if you think about it. Maybe 1 or 2 patches here and there, but for the most part, the Valkyrie from day 0, or, day 0 for when she was out, till now, it's pretty much the same. Pretty standard. Looking at the zone, it's a bit of an interesting one. Got Countdown in there, Landslide, Fragment East and West. Skyhook.
Looking south, dude. What is Nop doing right now? He's in between 2 teams. Is he taking Dome to himself?
I don't know if he sees that. That's the problem.
What?
Oh, he's gonna see that
Oh
now.
my God.
Oh, it's like, I'm in trouble, and that person just got a purple armor. No, what is his play? I think maybe that after that first game, they thought that, hey, no one landed on this side of the map, so you know what? I think
Ghosted, listen, I respect the arrogance. But arrogance is very, very
Okay,
likely
it's a
to be
duo.
punished.
Cinder, hold on, it's a duo. This could be either the greatest clutch we've ever watched.
But it's your
look,
boy
Calamities and
Zulu
Ghost
in
Cycle.
corner.
Yeah, Ghost Cycle and them are here though right now. They're pulling up pretty soon. They'll be around there. Nope's in this with a triple take for now. And this is quite an interesting fight to watch your champions in so far.
But
Quite
look
odd.
how much. What do they have? They whites. They have whites versus at least one purple. They do spot the caustic, thankfully, but they don't have much loot to deal with. Look, I respect that they're all together now, but I'm really looking towards this duo to just make something happen here. I mean, they had the aggression to go and chase the lonely solo, and now that the team's rocked up, they got to make something happen. And corner carry, he is going to try and make something happen. Unfortunately, he's going to push towards this wraith, but he is going to be down, and that's just going to leave his friend Zulu. Unfortunately, that is going to be Zulu going down. So, Ghosted, pull it together. Thankfully, not questionable. Interesting rotations. What was the communication there? Was he just like, nah, you know what, guys, I got this. Just let me do this by myself. You know, as you said, no one was dropping in the southern part of this map, so we were pretty chill anyway. And then, yeah, that was so interesting, man. I would love to have known what it had got down in terms of, you know, communication between the teams.
And now look what's happening is a team moving onto the location where they were normally dropping, and the odds are they're going to rotate towards that area and think that, hey, no one should be here because we just dropped in. But hey, Ascend Esports that might play spoilers to Ghosted Herd. So this is something we'll have to keep track with. But yeah, Zone will be pulling towards the fragment side. So we're going to get a fragment ending here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited, especially if we have a lot of teams towards the end game. I was about to mention how we had 12 squads up compared to the 11 of last game, but hey, yeah, you know what, GG's, eh? It happens sometimes.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, here's happening, Cinder.
Ascend Esports ascending to new heights. This Galactus is going to descend onto Ascend and is going to be able to get Horizon down. So that's one pick in favor of Ghosted Herd, as they're going to continue this aggression, continue this non-stop battle that they've been having since the start. And they've been able to secure 2 down. No, it seems like Ascend wanted to go for the ring. Just
my man's about to
absolutely
3K.
dead.
About to 3K, but actually
Man.
comes through with a little bit of assistance from Nope. Looked like a 3K might have been on there for Calamities. They cleaned up the most of the side of this map now. 2 teams down.
I respect it, but man, oh man, that did not look clean at all. It was just so scuffed in the way that it all came together. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be happening at this level of competition. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. You know, you don't exactly know what's happening on the ground, but from our perspective, it definitely did not look coordinated at all.
Yeah, because you got to now those 2 players have to rush out of that place, and they have to come and assist Nope, and there's just all these frantic comms, and given a different lobby, that would have been quite dangerous. But you know, thankfully for them, as the dominant team, they can mess up here and there. You know, maybe they're taking a page out of DNMK. DNMK like to do that as well. If they saw no team was landing in Lava Fisher, they'd also, you know, split drop and have the 2 drop spots to get all the loot, and you know,
Those are going to be some interesting games. I'm very excited to, you know, go look at these next set of groups as well. But coming back to Violent Wolves, Craneville holding that bow check. That is something we don't often see in comp.
Yeah, Bochek,
Bow check.
Bochek's a bit difficult though, you know, just in terms of finding the ammo, and then it's just a difficult weapon to use in general. So, you know, people tend to steer away from it.
Is it difficult, or are you just bad with it?
Okay,
Come on.
no, that's a bit of a shot. That wasn't necessary. Thank you.
Shot that.
Grease Gaming.
Oh, arrows fight? Oh man, we have fun. You know, it's a lull period during the game. You gotta let the casters have a little bit of fun. But looking Looking at the zone fragment, Thendo, not a single team in fragment. What's
Yeah,
happening here?
for now, at least, right, if you're a squad that hasn't got a beacon scan, you're thinking to yourself that, hey, this still has a 50-50 pool. It could still go towards that countdown side, and there's a lot of teams that are closer to countdown, so they may be waiting to see if that happens. But anyone that's got that beacon scan in should know that it's time to gear up and put up shop over here in the fragment side. It's an MK2 already in fragment. There's just one team towards the survey a camp that's kind of close, and the team that's coming out of Overlook now should be able to get there without much traffic. Water toasters.
These are my boys, the toasters. There's two things you should never have together: is water and toast. But they seem to be pretty good, pretty chilled. Looking at their loadout, got a caustic on their team with a beautiful looking neon green sentinel skin. I mean, there's some awesome skins that we've been looking at the shop recently. Dan, have you seen these beautiful Pathfinder, Wraith, and Octane skins that are in the shop right now?
Yeah, man. The nice thing about Apex that I find compared to other games is these weapon skins, the character skins on top of that. You get your heirlooms, so there's quite a lot of texture in terms of just like in-game cosmetics. In Valorant, sometimes I wish I could have a different skinned Reyna, for example, compared to everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it makes a huge difference because it gives you as a player that unique character that it's to you. It's customizable to you. Yes, you have limited options, but ultimately you don't often see certain race skins anymore. Some are limited, some you can only get, for example, the Halo Bloodhound can only be bought by shards, so you're very, very fortunate if you choose to obviously pick that up using your shards. And I think it's really, it is something that does make the game just that little bit more tantalizing, I suppose. But as we start to look towards these rotations, a lot of teams starting to find themselves making their way in. One or two teams have made their way in between Fragment East and Fragment West. A few coming from North, South, East, West. Everyone just filtering in, as they should, as the next zone is encroaching. But, I mean, look how passive Water Toasters is right now towards that Skyhook area. I mean, I think it's a good idea to obviously play that passive, but do you really want to find yourself late rotating into the zone?
Yeah, you really don't want to find yourself late rotating. Goes to the herd, taking up a position at epicenter. Quick scope at the zone, though. It will be a Fragment West ending.
Sheesh.
So, thank you, observers. Pulling that one up. Fragment West is where it's going to be. And Fragment West is kind of odd, right? Like, it's got the market area, so there's that disparity in the high ground when you're fighting there. There's a really big building here, this construction building that we find SLX on top of. And now we're starting to see a lot of Valkyrie ults being popped as teams need to start moving in and finding a home. It's time to buy a house, get into the real estate market.
That is
oh my goodness, wait! There's a big fight going down over here between Grease Gaming and I believe Ghost to the Herd. And Ghost to the Herd have hardly taken up much damage, and they've just extinguished the previous second place team, So, alright, that's a bit of an awkward time to find yourself in the battle there for Grease Gaming.
Can we craft some coffins, please? Because there are 3 players that need them. Ghosted Herd seem to be just herding this whole entire lobby. They seem to just be running away with it. At least for the time being, as well as they're going to have that epicenter high ground. But we're going to look to MS MK2, see if they can make something happen, as they are only a duo. But they do spot a few players on top of this building, so are they going to be able to land a few shots, or are they just going to play a little bit passive? Nope, we're going to see. Nope, okay, maybe. No, a little bit indecisive, but I can understand. There are only 2. SRX seem pretty comfortable with themselves, as they're going to pop some shots. Maybe Legs should just have a chat to his teammates and say, hey, you want to swap shields when I farm this damage? Or not farm this damage, because I don't see many numbers coming out from that, but we do see a fight happening back at the building there. SLX is going to try get involved with a few shots of their own. He is going to get a down onto Reckless Abandon, and Weed's going to finish that. So he did get a KP off that. You know, you can still get KP just by looking around, so to speak.
Okay, FBI, open up. It's Leaf. It just walks on in, beams the Bloodhound out of the game. That's unfortunate. And now, as the zone is starting to close in, we're going to see a lot more fights breaking loose here. JR. Ooh, nice little sentinel shot here from John. Oh, it's Johnny's Rodsky's quick little abbreviation. JR. I like JR real quick, you know. Just
Hey,
easy
JR.
to say.
Hey, this is dope. It's a bug.
Yeah, no. Good stuff. Quick little change there. They're holding at the top over here, just outside of Fragment West. And we've got 8 squads up. There's a couple of teams that are caught up close to that tunnel on the north side, next to Epicenter.
Oof. Okay.
Not too many teams have a home to work with just yet. Ghosted Herd is still on this aggression and still looking for teams to fight, still looking for some KP. I mean, nothing's really looking to stop them in the lobby right now. Cinder and Hayes Calamitous with the beam takes down Draken and still looking for some more.
Really unfortunate. As we spoke about, Ghosted just doing so much work in this lobby right now. They're just rotating everywhere just to look for KP. Utilizing that Valkyrie to find where the next team is, get that information with little to no damage, you know, in reverse. But they might find themselves in a little bit of a position with too much to handle. But it seems like Water Toasters, with the loss of Draconic RSZA. Oh, wow. That was a mouthful and completely incorrect. But it seems like they're fine for now. It seems like Ghosted Herd aren't aggressing. Not right yet, but they have the spot. Both players. Look at Violent Wolves there on the high ground. This is what we spoke about. There's now 3 teams in the area, and it seems one team is just getting the worst of it all. But it seems like they're going to be able to get out of dodge, at least for now.
Looking to aggress on top of this, and they drop down on the caustic, get them out, and they'll be able to confirm that kill. And there's another big fight, and they're just trying to finish things off here with the Gibby player, but oh no, this bubble fight! Oh no, this bubble fight! Thank goodness your team is there to close that one up, because oh, Baboon, no, that did not look good, and now goes to the herder here, like, okay guys, it's time, and here's Calamitous once again with his ulti that just doesn't stop, man. He's gonna just come in, Ghosted Cycles over here as well to just follow through, and it's done. They're done. They're finished. Okay, well, next fight for them.
Yeah, good talk. Thanks. Yeah. Going next. GG. Infinity Daggers. I mean, they've been in this position quite a while. Just trying to chip away, do some extra damage here. Kenny with the big 70. Looking to add to his collection. Gets that 86. Plus 16. His stocks are looking good tonight. His Infinity Daggers. Once again, they're pretty perched. Pretty fine, pretty nice, but they won't be in the next zone. And the team that they are griefing seems to be Dynasty, but Dynasty, they're alright, they're pretty happy. They're still in the zone as well. Everyone finally having found footing, but unfortunately not having the sniper scope to work with, so he's just using that bruiser. Interesting combination as we see Jade trying to lay out some damage with that 301.
There's like 2 storylines in the lobby right now. It's Ghosted Herd and what they're doing, and what everybody else
and everyone else, yeah.
Pretty much. But for now, Ghosted Herd's a little bit quiet. And oh man, one of those unforgiven fragment endings. Gonna end on top of the bridge, which is kind of an interesting one. Don't often see this one.
I love these zones, Thendo. There's just so many little nooks and crannies to play in and around. And TKO with that caustic, they might be the thorn in the side of Herd, and they might cause some grief towards this later stage of the game. And having that Gibby ulti, especially in this kind of zone, is very... But speaking of Ghosted, and we're going to see the Raid take the high ground here. He's going to go play on the stairs. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do too much damage. I regret saying that. Oh my goodness me. Psycho gets absolutely decimated. And now Nop and Calamitous have to make a play here, make something happen. He's able to get the blood out so low. 11. Oof, he's able to get massive shot out to get the player down, but they are still in quite a rough position. If that Gibby LT does come down, Calamitous can go for the res. It seems like there's still 2 players on the opposing side, but it's going to be 3 up on Ghost and Herd right now as one drops down to the low ground, and the Bloodhound is going to unfortunately go down. Still 2 players remaining. The res has come out from the Gibby, but he's going to try to run away. He's not turning around to fight, and that's going to be verified going down. 1 player remaining. They need to just get these kills, heal up, and get ready for the next fight, because they could be third party.
And like I said, it's what Ghost to the Herd doing right now, and they're just out killing, running through some squads. No goes down though. And there's a Kraber in play over there, which is quite interesting. The knock does come through. We'll see how prevalent that Kraber can be. It's a team of SLX who are perched up at the top of the building here. And with that Kraber, things might get hectic. They've got a really good rotation coming into where that zone is going to finish. And there's a team up in the air. If this hits right now.
Go for it.
Oh, he's not. Oh, but they're still going to have to land in front. And no, the quick flick on isn't good enough. And they're just trying to pop some shots down. Calamitous is in the kill feed once again. Still dominating. And there's so many teams that are caught out on the side. It's JR in the building on top of that. Prex is trying his very best, but from behind it's Dr. Psycho. And there's just so much action going on. It's limitless left. The shots are flying. The shots aren't enough to keep him up. Dynasty Gaming have swooped on in to get involved. There's only 3 squads left all of a sudden. Same scenario as the last game. We had 7, down to 3 all of a sudden. Ghost to Herd down a man.
This could be the one, Thendo. This is what we're looking towards. We all love the All-Stars, but we do love us an underdog story. So hopefully... Okay, no, that would be wrong. I'm going to retract that statement. Let me rephrase this. Could we see maybe a game that Ghost to Herd does not take away? And could this be that game? Will be interesting. If they can find a mobile respawn, they can make something happen, because there is only 1 respawn remaining in these final zones. The
yo, that man's movement, it was like, yo, am I really gonna hit this shot? And he really was questioning it, like, nah.
He only has 1 more shot remaining in that Kraber. What happened to the other 11?
Yeah, I'm also wondering, where's the other 11 shots?
We did see he did down one of the players, so we know that he... Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at
2 out of 12 ain't bad, right?
Look at this rest that's about to come through from Ghost.
No, they don't get away with this, surely.
Yeah, no, they are getting away with this, definitely, because they're just doing what they gotta do here. And they're gonna be able to bring back Nope. And there's loot in and around the area, and they've got control of the final zone because no one has made this rotation. Ghost Psycho's probably, you know, relaying to Calamitous that, hey, look, we've got a lot of real estate to work with here, and now Dynasty and SLX are probably going to be fighting. Oh, Calamitous is getting called out though! This is unfortunate! And he'll go down. At least Nope is back in it, but now you're going to have to be looking towards Ghost Psycho to disappear. Just split for this team.
He hasn't been thirsted out yet. There's still hope.
Oh, the hope is low.
Come on, Psycho. Psycho's got to make something happen here. He's got to force these teams away from his teammate, who unfortunately is 1 bullet away from being thirsted out once again. And that is going to be it for Calamitous, unfortunately. But not being a fresh spawn, doesn't have much to his name. A 30-30 and an R99. So Ghost Psycho, they looking very, very scared right now, as we see SLX going to take advantage of that. He spots the plays. He's going to be able to lay some damage, but he gets returned a 2 for 1. That is so unfortunate, as Zyzer is still above.
Oh, the rest is being
out.
popped up.
There's no aggression coming. They're going to get the rest for free, surely, but... Oh, no, Ghost Psycho. They were able to get boxes. He's able to get a purple. How have Ghosted pulled back this far, considering their situation?
This just might be one of the greatest matches we see over here from Ghost to the Herd, with how Ghost Psycho is playing. The shots are flying through, and this team is just caught up in this little compartment. And with all this pressure coming down on them, it might be tough for them. And then you got Nope on the opposite side, taking his own 3v1. I mean, right now, everybody's shooting over Ghost Psycho and Nope are situated of Ghost to the Herd.
Yo, Ghost, you handle these 3, I'll take these 3.
I got your back, you got my back, right?
You. Yeah. Oh, the brothers in arms, you love to see it. And they could take this away. It just takes 1 false move coming out from the opposing team, 1 person to focus somewhere else, and it just turns into something that it shouldn't. And I think that is quite likely to happen the way that we've seen Ghosted play. the way that Ghost and Nope have survived up until this point, being able to farm up to red shields, Thendo. Gibby ulti is going to come out here. Jade.
That ulti is troublesome for the likes of Ghosted Herd, right? Because they don't have a Gibby to work with, and they're probably going to be feeling that heat. And you can see Nope is trying to fly around, and SLX is controlling so much of the zone right now. And this is looking good for an SLX win. They're trying to drop down the bombardment, and the portal is popped, and there's so much damage on that. This bombardment is going to be huge as it comes on down. And now it's SLX that we're looking towards to maybe close up this game, but no one's kicked out the way Ghosted Herd is. We're just hugging the edge of the zone, and it's really that other team that's feeling the heat. Dynasty is going down. It is tragic for them, but Ghosted Herd is still up. They're still trying to pop these shots. No, they're just holding on to this ledge. There's still 3 squads up. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done by Ghosted Herd, by SLX. Even Dynasty Gaming still up in this one. They swing around the corner. The shots are flying. Everything is just crazy. It's a literal warfare everywhere. Just find whatever angle you can hold yourself in. Nope is still going blow for blow here. Punches are even being thrown out. What do you mean is going on in this lobby? Why has no one killed each other? It's up now. Top 2. Ghosted Herd can still win this one. Is this dynamic duo gonna clutch it up? It's looking good for it with the punch out. Ghosted Herd! Nah. No business winning this game.
In all my years of casting, never have I ever seen such a duo have so much fun in a lobby. Honest to God, that was beautiful to watch. The likes of Nop and Ghost in tandem with each other. It was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. Unfortunately, the 2 other teams just... It seemed like they just didn't know how to orchestrate themselves. You know, we saw Gibby Dome coming out, the early ulti from the Gibby. Granted, it was a good ulti. There was still a few crates and a few little nooks and crannies for both teams to play under, as well as the team that was playing under the bridge. Then we saw the response Gibby ulti, and you know that in itself was good because there was nowhere for the opposing team to hide. They only had that wall to work with, along with the duo that was on their right-hand side. It was absolute chaos, but in amongst that chaos, Ghosted prevailed and take 2 back-to-back wins, Thendo.
Just left with questions on what the comms were like between SLX especially. They had high ground to work with, they had ultis, they just had everything to do. You know when you're literally in the exam and you're using your phone and the teacher can't see you? That's what they were in. That's the kind of position they were in. And they just
gifted.
They were gifted that win at a certain point, but Ghosted Herd just kept quiet. They just kept hugging onto those bins, and they just basically let them fight each other in front of them, and they got involved. And like you said, they were having fun all the way up until the punch out. Cinda, I mean, what is they left for Ghosted Herd to do in this lobby now? You know,
the fact that they were. It hurts my brain to think that they were able to get close enough to some of these players to punch them around like toys. You know the squeaky toy that a dog makes? That's all I have pictured in my head every time they punch someone. Like beep. Just it was humorous, but it was so beautiful to watch. And congratulations to Ghosted Herd to be able to pull that again. 2 back-to-back wins. You can't stop them. It doesn't look like it's going to happen coming into game 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they take away a 3rd win.
I think it's looking good for them. They're gonna pull an 80k at this point, come out with 3 on top. And I mean, yeah, if you're Ghosted Herd, everything's buzzing right now, for sure. I mean, I'm buzzing right now, like, whoa, what a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
the energy is fire tonight. I mean, look, this is just the beginning of the evening. This is a somewhat semi.
We still have to watch DNMK, and you know, based on what DNMK has been doing, it's definitely panning out to be some more hectic action.
Absolutely. If you're not Ghosted, what's your mental right now? What are you doing?
Yeah, especially after watching them win like that, I don't know, man. You gotta really make sure that when you get into fights that you're communicating well and playing the 3v3s and just making sure that you got each other's backs, because if you do come across Ghosted Herd and you're not playing well and you just split off, and that's exactly what happened there. They were just split off, all the teams, and everyone was just trying to survive and duck and dodge and weave and still being coordinated, then you're just going to fall victim to what seems like the plague right now called Ghosted Herd in the lobby. And yeah, you know, everyone was just holding out essentially in the final zone. And they were just waiting for the third party, hopefully, to go towards Ghosted Herd's side, right? Because SLX is probably hoping that, hey, Dynasty rather plays that fight because it's only two of them. But I think it was just how much damage that Ghost Cycle was doing that it was a little bit tough for Dynasty to even want to aggress onto that, you know? So
that's true. I mean, it's that vicious triangle, right? As you said, you know, all the teams know exactly what's happening. They know where everyone is. Everyone knows what's gonna happen. It's just how are they going to manage it? How are they going to be able to deal with it and come out on top? And ultimately, if you're ghosted, you were just sitting and waiting to see, and you were just reacting. You had to react in that situation. As a duo versus 6 other people, you just had to play to the best of your ability and see what you can pull out from that. You know what I mean? But if you're looking at SLX and you're looking at the other team where you should be in the power position. You had that give loyalty. You still had your dome to work with. You still had everything. If you're SLX, you should be taking that home every single day of the week. But again, man, when you're facing the likes of Ghosted Herd, individuals like Ghosted Psycho and Ghost Psycho and Nop, I mean, they knew what they needed to do and they just did it flawlessly. Well,
they are definitely just winners, and it's winner mentality, you know. And speaking of winners, you guys can also be winners over here on the stream, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time in the night where you guys can also get involved in a little bit of these winnings. And tonight, 250 Rand Steam voucher up for grabs to be given away to one. And it's as simple as typing EGL Apex, no space in the chat. Enter once, or else you will get in trouble. And I mean, make sure you're entering up so that you can become a winner. And now we are gearing up for this third and final game. And I mean, Cinder, what team could take it away from Ghosted, at least if that you've seen that's like, yeah, maybe they've got the potential if everything goes well for them right now, but I mean,
yeah, I thought you were gonna ask me who's gonna carry the meds for Ghosted Herd, because that's what's happening right now. I would like to see someone take it away, but it's very difficult from what we've seen tonight from a couple of these teams where we don't see the aggression. You know, we see the rotations, sure, even some late rotations, to be fair, but we're just not seeing any other team that can step up and take that mark and take that aggression, that's willing to put the fear into, you know, the opposing teams. You know what I'm saying? When you see a team coming at you, you either react or you're going to fight. Generally, if you start running away, you're just taking that passive approach. And if you're looking to get into a power position, you need to aggress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to try and make something happen that's going to put you on the front line, that's going to put you in a position where you're able to get this KP. And unfortunately, it's very difficult to say that we've seen that come out from any other team alongside Ghosted Herd. Dynasty, SLX, Ascend seem pretty consistent. They seem pretty good. Always seem to be in the top 4 situations. But it's difficult, man. It is difficult. But, you know, game 3, you have nothing to lose. This is the last game for this grouping. Send it. Make something happen. Make your dreams come true. You know, if you can run through this lobby, you can come second behind Ghosted. You can make something happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, not just last game, you know, in just right now. It's the last games for this gold tier, right? Moving into plat next week. And I mean, yeah, it's about to be hectic, you know, for these teams that were struggling, because now you're really feeling Like, hey guys, we can't go out like this. We really need to put up a couple more numbers on the board, especially if you're looking below that top 40 threshold right now, right? Because now this is when the points matter. This is that very crucial game that will change a lot of things for these teams. And we're just being blessed with these zone pools, right? Because now we're getting a more southerly zone pool where Ghosted Herd usually likes to land. And it's just scripted right now, Cynder. It's scripted for them.
Hey, man. Paid actors, man. It is what it is. Suddenly, Office Ivan looks pretty good, but I've seen one team land there. It seems like maybe it seems alright. We could go over to Lava City, see what the boys are doing, Ghosted. It seems a bit more structured drop this time round. 2 players landing towards this rampart area, as we have 1 player who's in Lava City, looting it up for themselves. And I mean, considering their rotation in that zone, didn't have to walk too far. Everything seemed pretty fine. TKO, assuming some good luck here on the side of the Valkyrie being able to pick up that gold. But again, none of these teams ready on the southern side need to make an approach here. They don't really need to move too much. You know, we're looking towards these northern teams, this Lava Fissure, this Fragment East, and especially towards that survey camp area. They need to make a pretty early rotation if they want to find some footing in this zone. Because Lava Siphon...
Yeah, the Harvester. Things are seeming to pop off here for SNMK2, but in the opposite direction, because one is down and they have not had a good night here thus far. And it's all up to Reckless to try and make something happen. Oh, no. Nah.
A little bit too reckless.
Nah, you didn't have to do him like that. Come on, man.
It's unfortunate.
You came from behind. What are you going to do when someone comes behind you, man? Like,
I know, that piece of reckless. Get it? No? Okay. Good stuff. Ascend Esports. Nice. Looking pretty happy. Yeah, it is unfortunate, but I don't know, man. As a duo, like, there's only so far you can go, unless you're ghosted. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I know. It's rough. It's rough on the streets, you know?
Indeed it is. And besides that one fight, everything's pretty quiet around the map if you're looking at it. There's a few teams close to each other next to the tree and launch site, but we'll wait and see if anything happens. For now, everyone's just getting up their loot. Probably just recovering from that lost game. You know, time to catch your breath.
Can you really recover from that?
I don't know. That's why fragment endings are just always so exciting, you know, wherever they pull, it just always leaves you wanting more. Just more Apex, please.
More Apex, and that's exactly what we're gonna get. It seems Ghosted doing their thing, as we see them do time and time again, just looting up everyone. Again, it's a very slow-paced game in the beginning here. We shouldn't be expecting too much. We should be expecting everyone to have more than enough loot going forward. And let's look at the loadout right now, right? You have the Havoc, the R99. We have the Master of the 301. You know, you're not seeing a charge rifle. You're not seeing a Sentinel from Ghosted. Know that they're going for an aggressive play. As we speak, they are pushing towards Dome, and they want to get into that close range area. Water Toast is able to spot out the Octane early enough, but Lulu taking a huge amount of damage, and she's going to need some time bought by her teammates. And we look at Fluffy, who's using the charge rifle. You can just see the difference in the play style of these players right now, where Ghosted, they want to get in your face. And I don't know if Toasters is going to be able to deal with that aggression.
Beams coming through from Calamitous as they close up on the Toasters, and just like bread, they're getting
buttered.
But I wanted to say fried, but then I was like, oh man, but you don't fry bread, you know.
Like buttered the toast, or you toasted the toast?
They're getting either way. They're not having a good time here, ladies and gentlemen, and they will be our second team to go down. Someone landing on top of Ghosted Herd right now after all that action has broken loose. It doesn't look like it's happening, and now we're gonna get some more action. The third party's in. It's TKO who are looking to find some KP in this situation.
This this is where they need to make a name for themselves. They know that it was Ghosted Herd that was fighting, and they're able to spot out one of the players, Leaf, doing a bit of damage. They want some revenge. They were a duo in the beginning game, and they did get, unfortunately, killed. But, oh my goodness me, the stun coming out from the Valkyrie is going to buy them some time. TKO needs to heal up to make something happen, but he's going to go down. They need to get a viable trade here, as it seems like Leaf is going to push up with his ulti and put it down, allowing for a safe Wraith, at least for a meantime, and try and get this Wraith out of here. And they're able to do so just for now, but the aggression hasn't stopped, and Leaf just trying to buy a moment, trying to buy a second to prolong the fight as best they can, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And Ashy is one thermite burn away from death, and Ghosted, even on the back foot, even at half HP, just after winning that initial fight, they're back on their feet. And speaking of feet, JR seems to find themselves in a similar predicament.
You know when your mother tells you to not do something,
Yeah.
you still do it anyways. Felt like one of those moments there. It felt like TKO were like, you know what, let's take this fight up anyways. And there was that one person that was like, yeah, but guys, maybe we shouldn't. And they shouldn't have, not knowing coming into Ghosted Herd. And you gotta commend Ghosted Herd for just how well they can hold themselves up. Even in utter shambles there towards the very end, they still managed to follow through and get the kills. And the storyline prevails throughout the night, throughout the evening here, ladies and gentlemen, here in the EGL Gold Tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. Hey, there's also a cheeky giveaway right now going on for 250 Rand on a Steam voucher. Just type EGL Apex and just pray that maybe one of these teams can take down Ghosted Herd right now, because they are just looking unstoppable.
And only do it once. Omen Liquid, only one cup is enough. Ascend Esports.
Need some energy ammo.
Seemed like they wanted to aggress towards that position. They heard all the fighting, all the
they
noise.
Are gone. They're backing off like
but they are running away with their
You know,
tails
the problem
between
is
their
with
legs.
this lobby Cinder quickly, right? It's just like, if you see a fight, it's really often gonna be Ghosted Herd if you keep up with the kill feed from the last 2 games, right? So it's, you really have to weigh in, is that Ghosted Herd? Do we go in for that fight? Because if it is, it might not end up well for you guys.
Absolutely, but that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a mentality shift, right? You take a bit more of a passive approach, you're gonna be like, you're only gonna go so far. But Ghosted, they're taking the fight to everyone else, you know what I mean? And they're coming out on top because they have that experience and they have that know-how, and it just, again, no one's been able to match that aggression, not from what we've seen. But it does seem like everyone going toe-to-toe, playing this somewhat passive approach to... Oh my goodness me, that must be... Okay, yep, Ghosted Herd on the aggressive. They were able to get one down in the back, and it seems like they're continuing that aggression. They know that there are 2 teams fighting here. They know that there is a team that they can walk up behind, and they were able to do so with ease. And they've gotten one player down. They know where the other player is, and they are still looking to grind this out. They are looking to end this, Thendo, and make a statement.
They're looking to make a statement over here. They're looking to be heard, and you know, as an unsigned team, it's always good to make statements like this. And Calamitous, once again with that ulti combination, finding so much damage through the R301 as well on top of it. And I mean, they're just putting so much damage down on these teams. And it was 2 teams fighting. Ghosted Herd came through like some school bullies, and they just started bullying them all. And now they're just running away from only Ghosted Herd. The 2 teams have just forgotten about each other. They're like, nah, guys, we can't do this. It's not worth it. Let's just run away.
Let's go.
Big boys are here. You gotta be careful, because Calamitous is looking saucy. He's got that R301. He's also got a Havoc. I mean, that's a dirty combo if I ever looked at one.
Absolutely, but in the background we see Lags and Icarus were able to get 2 picks onto 2 alternative players, so it seems like the team that was trying to run Ray is getting forced upon right now, as Skits also in the kill feed there being able to first out Mr. Rogue. As we go towards Ghosted Herd once again, just looking to finish this up nice and neat with a bow around it, pushing towards this Gerald ulti, getting the thirst, and just... Again, making it look easy, man. Making it look easy.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
my
he's so
goodness me! How did he survive that, bro?
They're still up! I thought he's gonna gonna go down to the 2 players beaming in, but he's actually doing more damage to them. Ghost Cycle comes through from around. Nah, man, someone stopped him. This is going crazy. I sent Esports who were in this area not so long ago, and they were dominating. And now on the back foot because there's so many teams around. At least they might be able to get a kill here, and they do find a nice little kill over there. That's SLX who are trying to make their way in over here into this long side area. But look at the zone, Cinder. These teams are fighting to no avail because it's not gonna be here, and the zone closure is imminent. It's not looking good.
It's bad for them, good for us, as we're going to continue to see all this action raining out. Unfortunately, Gibby does go down. Shocker to try and follow up here, but unfortunately he's not able to do so. He's going to be thirsted out, and that's going to be JR securing some points on the board with the 3 up, looking healthy. Just going to get a few armor swaps and reset, and they need to do so quickly because there is Ghosted Herd in the lobby with the Volk ulti. The Gibby Dome coming out, but unfortunately his flesh. They're going to trade a few shots. The PK just looking nice and clean as they bubble fight, but they're going to press forward. They're going to get the push. They're just going to keep. Okay, Ash, nice. Going to follow you. Going to kill you. Cool, nice. Good talk. Thanks for coming.
Cinder, there's 4 squads.
Yeah, what do you want from me, Thendo? I'm trying to cast.
There's 4 squads up. There's 4 squads up, ladies and gentlemen. Ghosted Herd have been on a tear down here in the long side area. And those teams that are not involved here are just diddly-daddling around like, hey, I wonder what's going on here. Why are there so many teams dying? And little do they know, on the opposite end, there's just a whole bunch of action.
They must know. Surely, if you're seeing the same names over and over again in that kill feed, must know what's happening. Oh my goodness me, look at this. Ghosted Herd is currently sitting in the zone. They have to rotate. They just used that Valkyrie ulti, and they're getting gated by Infinity Laggers. Infinity Laggers needs to make this happen. They surely know that they still need to rotate in. Or is this just going to be Ghosted Herd pulling up behind? What's happening? Come on, Verified. To your left, buddy. He doesn't. Oh, he finally does spot out the Ryzen player, gets the audio cue, I'm sure as well. But unfortunately, there's 3 players shooting in his direction. He needs help. He needs his team as the Ryzen Plant is going to stop.
Don't care, bro! He just slides into that dome after getting that damage, and he's like, I'm gonna take you out anyways. I don't care about your Gibraltar ulti. We're coming in on this one. Red Ghosted Herd, but Calamities is taking up a lot of damage as well as Nope. So now Ghost Cycle really needs to come in and do a lot for the team. And here he is doing exactly what he does best and dealing out that damage with an R301. He's coming into that Hall of Fame with this R301 gameplay. And now Calamities is back up. Ghosted Herd is just... They're just swarming up. They're just closing it down. And I mean, Cinder, they're about to end it up. We're on zone 3. They could end the game very soon at this rate.
Garcia, what are you doing, bro? You don't know who you're messing with. This is Ghosted Herd we're talking about. And they pull away from Psycho just to play it safe. They know that this is in the bag for them should they be able to play this correctly, and they're going to do so. They're going to make sure that they secure the win. They're going to do it in style. They have to, as unfortunately a little bit too late to the party is the likes of Jade, Shooter, and AIDS. But we come into that deadly trio situation, Thendo. 3 teams, 1 zone. Who's gonna shoot first? Who's gonna make a mistake? And what's gonna happen? Or is Ghosted gonna go high, find the team, clean it up? Nope, no. They're gonna play position, they're gonna play it smart.
Oh man, what a bad time to use an ulti to try to look for people, because there's no one to look for. I mean, you know what the one squad is. And the other team is hiding right now. Let me tell you that. I got a glimpse of what they're busy doing. They're just holding things out. And they're actually just in front of where Ghosted Herd is. So if they look to aggress, maybe they can get involved and make something happen. But I mean, yeah, Ghosted Herd is just going to pin this team down. And Nope is looking to make a bit of a slide play over here. Trying to find an angle, and this here is just feeling the world of hurt. Not knocked yet though, so can get away, maybe find a shield battery. But Ghosted Herd are like, nah, we're just gonna come on here and try to take this fight up. Nope has put up a lot of aggression here. Ghost Psycho is making this flank around, and probably as soon as he swoops around the corner over here, yep, there he is. He's just gonna farm up all this damage that's been dealt already. Just try to clean these guys up. And I mean, yeah, there you go.
Dude,
some extra points.
Not even a calculator could add the amount of numbers coming out right now.
random SA squad is just like, oh damn, oh guys, we need to act quickly. It's our time to play body.
Top 2 situation, let's go. Let's go, town boys. Come on, corner. Come on, Zulu. Let's get it together. Let's make something happen. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Nothing more to lose. Last 2 squads remaining. And they're going to see if they can clean this up. And I hate to say it, but it looks like the cleanup squad is coming. And they're coming hard. As Zulu is going to have to hit a bat there. But corner carry is, of course, he has his ulti and he has the barrels. Interesting placement there, but it seems like he's going to replace it anyway. He has the time. He has the effort. I mean, what's happening at this point? Like, what are you doing if you're the team? It's like,
hey, what? Why? For some extra cover, I guess. Sure, why not?
For the cloud, dude. For the cloud.
Yeah, just to hold up for a little longer.
For the points at the end of the game, you know.
Dude, I mean, Ghosted Herd are just not even involved in this right now.
Yeah.
They're just holding out, doing their own thing. It's actually just Calamitous that's next to these guys right now. If you check the map, the other 2 are just waiting in zone for things to go back. Calamitous is about to end this up 1 man, guys. Ah, man, not like this. He's throwing the ulti. He's gonna drop on him, the nade on him as well. Zulu's like, nah, man, get out my damn face. They're punching him as well. No, next series. Thank you. Time for a break.
Apex champions.
The silence speaks enough, you know. I wouldn't even be surprised if production was just like, all right, cool, let's cut it off, guys. Go for a quick little intermission. But yeah, I mean, Ghosted Herd, what a performance, what a statement, honestly, tonight.
I saw one. There was one squad, Thendo. I think there was one other squad that was taking a fight to another squad. So, Ghosted ran at 10 different squads, 30 different people that game.
Yeah, if you look at the stats, it's a bit disgusting as well because they basically killed everybody in the lobby. The team with the most kills closest to them only has 5 right now. And my math is bad, I am sorry, but they're close to 20 kills there, I think. And they weren't that many people in the lobby, obviously, so that's one way to secure a spot inside that platinum tier. And I mean, wow, Cinder, what a way to get us warmed up and ready for this next set of game. That was Group V. I mean, no, Group V. Group G versus Group H. We'll be having Group C versus Group D. And I mean, just some closing thoughts, Cinder, before, you know, we transition to a quick intermission and just gather ourselves and get ready for this next one.
I want to say that, you know, a lot of these lower echelon teams, they got some valuable experience, but I think what you got to take away from something like the 3 games that we watched tonight, you need to understand, like, you want to play at a competitive level. There's certain basics and certain necessities that you need to have in order to compete. You know, you can't just. No, I mean, you can. You can always phone up your friends and say, "Hey, you want to try run a tournament? You know, there's a prize pool on the line. Let's go for it." But when you're at a certain level, you got to be able to pitch up on game day. You got to be able to hit your shots, and it didn't seem like that was happening throughout that. But they got humbled. They got not what they deserved. It's a harsh way of saying it, but you need to be able to put your chin towards Ghosted and play against that. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to say they got valuable experience from that, and that's all you can take away from these kinds of games. You have to take away the fact that there are going to be people that are always better than you. You just got to strive to be better than those people. You've got to be putting in the practice. You've got to be putting in the time, and you have to make sure that you can compete with the likes of Ghosted.
Some wise words indeed, Cinder, to leave us off with after that. And I mean, yeah, guys, it's time to catch a breath, go make some tea, maybe some coffee, because the next set of games are really going to be probably just as exciting. And we know we got to catch a breath here as well. We'll be right back, guys, after this in the EGL Gold tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP Omen. We'll see you guys after this break.
Charge rifle being nerfed, going up and down. It's just like R301. When have you seen it being nerfed? Just never. It just doesn't. It's balanced. It's a perfect weapon. In my opinion.
Some nice cracks coming from Horizon here from Evesports.
You do need to make sure that you are using it properly, but Dynasty Gaming, they seem to got themselves into a little fight here. It's greasy. Your boy Concho is sending those wingman shots, and now they're going to send it on that knock because they have that knock. But they Gibby Dome. The res hasn't come out though. It seems like he's picking him up. Now the res has come out, but that's going to leave the solo Valkyrie to try and hold it down. But they're starting to push in. Double Gibby Dome has been popped, so it's going to be a huge fight going down here. But they are going to make quick work of it.
All the way the distance here, sitting at Lava Siphon. And that is an aggressive TP, I believe, from the Wraith player. So this fight is really waging up. And they're just stuck out in the open, but it's a bit of a far distance. Oh, wait! Ow!
Far, but his friend Nopo is going to R99 this Ash, and he's going to be able to get one down, but he's being snared, so he can't aggress just yet. He's going to wait for his team to push up alongside him, and another knock coming out from Kala on the friends. So it's just one player. What's happening there?
Yeah, why is he so detached from the rest of the squad?
Just vibing here.
Just sitting lonely at the top of this building now. Maybe they'll get the rest onto it.
Pancho looking for pick, followed by his Bloodhound. Look at that. Waking Artist is going to down Shocker, and they're going to continue to aggress onto this fight, get some KP as much as they possibly can. And they are going to wipe it up nice and clean as they find the last remaining player. 3 did buy the opposing team some time, but Calamitous able to find Puncher on the side there, and now Nop looking to finish up another player that was able to get down low with that R99. He's going to put it out, go Psycho onto Waking Artist, and the last remaining player, 1v3, to get a down onto Reckless Abandon, and Weed's going to finish that. So he did get a KP off that. You know, you can still get KP just by looking around, so to speak.
Okay, FBI open up its leaf. Pop up this, and they drop down on the caustic, get them out, and they'll be able to confirm that kill. There's another big fight, and they're just trying to finish things off here with the Gibby player, but oh no, this bubble fight. Oh no, this bubble fight. Thank goodness your team is there to close that one up, because Baboon, no, that did not look good, and now goes to the herder. Yeah, like, okay, guys, it's time. And yes, Calamitous once again with his ulti that just doesn't stop, man. He's gonna just come in, Ghosted Cycles over here as well to just follow through. And it's done!
Like there's still 2 players on the opposing side, but it's going to be 3 up on Ghost and Herd right now as one drops down to the low ground, and the Bloodhound is going to unfortunately go down. Still 2 players remaining. The Res has come out from the Gibby, but he's going to try to run away. He's not turning around to fight, and that's going to be verified going.
So many teams are caught out on the side. It's JR in the building. On top of that, Krebs is trying his very best, but from behind it's Book Cycle, and there's so much action going on. It's limitless left. The shots are flying. The shots aren't enough to keep him up. Dynasty Gaming have swooped on in, and now Dynasty and SLX are probably going to be fighting. Oh, Calamitous is getting called out though. This is unfortunate. And he'll go down. At least Nope is back in it, but now you're gonna have to be looking towards Go Psycho to disappear. Blow for blow, yeah. Punches are even being thrown out. What do you mean is going on in this lobby? Why has no one killed each other? It's up now. Top 2 goes to the hook and still win this one. Is this dynamic duo gonna clutch it up? It's looking good for it with the punch out. Ghosted.
Yeah, and they're able to do so just for now, but the aggression hasn't stopped, and Leaf just trying to buy a moment, trying to buy a second, prolong the fight as best they can, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And Ashy is one Thermite burn away from death and towards this Gerald ulti, getting the thirst. I'm just, again, making it look easy, man, making it look easy.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
my goodness me! How did he survive that, bro?
He's still up. I thought he's gonna go down to the 2 players beaming in, but
Coming out, but unfortunately his flesh. They're going to trade a few shots. The PK just looking nice and clean as they bubble fight, but they're going to press forward. They're going to get the push. They're just going to keep. Okay, Ash, nice. Going to follow you. Going to kill you. Cool, nice. Good.
there's no. So now Ghost Cycle really needs to come in and do a lot for the team, and here he is doing exactly what he does best and dealing out that damage with the R301. He's coming into that Hall of Fame with this R301 gameplay, and now Calamitous is back up. Ghost and Herd is just, they're just swarming up. They can get involved and make something happen, but I mean, yeah, Ghost and Herd is just gonna pin this team down, and Nope is looking to make a bit of a slide play over here. Trying to find an angle over Ooh, and this here is just feeling the world of hurt. Not knocked yet though, so you guys put up a lot of aggression here. Ghost Psycho is making this flank around, and probably as soon as he swoops around the corner over here, yep, there he is. He's gonna farm up all this damage that's been dealt already. Let's try to clean you guys up. And I mean, yeah, there you go. Some extra clamp. The other 2 are just waiting in zone for things to go back. Calamitous is about to end this up 1 man, guys. Ah, man, not like this. He's throwing the ulti. He's gonna drop on him, the nade on him as well. Zulu's like, nah, man, get out my damn face. They're punching him as well. Oh.
You know, the charge rifle being nerfed, going up and down. It's just like R301. When have you seen it being nerfed? Just never. It just doesn't. It's standard. It's a perfect weapon. In my opinion.
Some nice cracks coming from Horizon here from Evesports.
You do need to make sure that you are using it properly, but Dynasty Gaming plays seem to got themselves into a little fight here. It's greasy. Your boy Concho is sending those wingman shots, and now they're going to send it on that knock because they have that knock. But they Gibby Dome. The res hasn't come out though. It seems like he's picking him up. Now the res has come out, but that's going to leave the solo Valkyrie to try and hold it down. But they're starting to push him. Double Gibby Dome has been popped, so it's going to be a huge fight going down here. But they are going to make quick work of it. RP.
All the way the distance here, sitting at Lava Siphon. And that is an aggressive TP, I believe, from the Wraith player. So this fight is really waging up. And they're just stuck out in the open, but it's a bit of a far distance. Oh, wait! Ow!
Far, but his friend Nopo is going to R99 this Ash, and he's going to be able to get one down, but he's being snared, so he can't aggress just yet. He's going to wait for his team to push up alongside him, and another knock coming out from Kala on the friends. So it's just 1 player. What's happening there?
Yeah, why is he's so detached from the rest of the squad?
Just vibing, yeah.
They're just sitting lonely at the top of this building now. Maybe they'll get the rest onto it.
Poncho looking for pick, followed by his Bloodhound. Look at that. Waking Artist is going to down Shocker, and they're going to continue to aggress onto this fight, get some KP as much as they possibly can. And they are going to wipe it up nice and clean as they find the last remaining player. 3 did buy the opposing team some time, but Calamitous able to find Poncho on the side there, and now Nop looking to finish up another player that was able to get down low with that R99. He's going to put it out, goes Psycho onto Waking Artist, and the last remaining player, 1v3, to get a down onto Reckless Abandon, and Weed's going to finish that. So he did get a KP off that. You know, you can still get KP just by looking around, so to speak.
Okay, FBI open up its leaf. Top of this, and they drop down on the caustic, get them out, and they'll be able to confirm that kill. There's another big fight, and they're just trying to finish things off here with the Gibby player. But oh no, this bubble fight! Oh no, this bubble fight! Thank goodness your team is there to close that one up, because Baboon, no, that did not look good. And now goes to the herder. Yeah, like okay, guys, it's time. And yes, Calamitous once again with his ulti that just doesn't stop, man. He's gonna just come in, Ghosted Cycles over here as well to just follow through, and it's done.
Like there's still 2 players on the opposing side, but it's going to be 3 up on Ghosted Herd right now as one drops down to the low ground, and the Bloodhound is going to unfortunately go down. Still 2 players remaining. The Res has come out from the Gibby, but he's going to try to run away. He's not turning around to fight, and that's going to be verified going.
So many teams are caught out on the side. It's JR in the building. On top of that, Krebs is trying his very best, but from behind it's Ghosted Cycle, and there's just so much action going on. It's limitless left. The shots are flying. The shots aren't enough to keep him up. Dynasty Gaming have swooped on in. And now Dynasty and SLX are probably going to be fighting. Oh, Calamitous is getting caught out though. This is unfortunate. And he'll go down. At least Nope is back in it. But now you're going to have to be looking towards Go Psycho to disappear. Blow for blow, yeah. Punches are even being thrown out. What do you mean is going on in this lobby? Why has no one killed each other? It's up now. Top 2 goes to the hook and still win this one. Is this dynamic duo gonna clutch it up? It's looking good for it with the punch out. Ghosted.
Yeah, and they're able to do so just for now, but the aggression hasn't stopped, and Leaf just trying to buy a moment, trying to buy a second to prolong this fight as best they can, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And Ashy is one Thermite burn away from death, and towards this Gerald ulti, getting the thirst. I'm just, again, making it look easy, man. Making it look easy.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
my goodness me! How did he survive that, bro?
They're still up. I thought he's gonna go down to the 2 players beaming in, but
Coming out, but unfortunately his flesh. They're gonna trade a few shots. The PK just looking nice and clean as they bubble fight, but they're gonna press forward. They're gonna get the push. They're just gonna keep. Okay, Ash, nice. Gonna follow you. Gonna kill you. Cool. Nice. Good.
there's no. So now Ghost Cycle really needs to come in and do a lot for the team. And here he is doing exactly what he does best and dealing out that damage with an R301. He's coming into that Hall of Fame with this R301 gameplay. And now Calamitous is back up. Ghosted Herd is just. They just.
nothing to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the EGL 1 Gold tier right now, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. And we have caught our breath after what Ghosted Herd just did to that lobby. But now we're gearing up for new sites here, Cyndalive. And we're looking at this Group C versus Group D fixture. And it's the last couple of games here for this gold tier stage as we move into that platinum stage.
Gonna be interesting. Going to be interesting. I mean, gotta have the respect and show big congratulations to Ghosted Herd for their 3 back-to-back wins, making it look easy. And I'm expecting big things from them going into the finals. But different group, different lobby, different players. Tonight, we're going to see the likes of DNMK. You got Carries, you got Aim Assist, you got Sparks. It is looking like there is going to be a couple of games on our hands, and I'm excited, dude. I'm really excited. I'm starting to see a couple of these players filtering into the lobby. Some new names, some old names, but some very, very interesting games. I think are definitely going to be had going into this next one.
Yeah, some interesting games, definitely. And I mean, let's highlight Carries. You know, you got the return of Altruli, ex-DNMK, went for the retirement lull and is back in here competing. And I mean, why wouldn't you compete when there is that 70,000 Rand, prize pool up for grabs? And I mean, just looking at that prize pool real quick, 8th place getting 1.5, 7th place getting 2,500, 6th, 3,500, 5th, 6,500, 4th, walking with a sweet 9K, 3rd, 12K, 2nd, 15, and that winner is walking away with a solid 20K. But it's not happening right now, obviously, right, Cinder? We're still in very early stages.
Still in the early stages. We're in the deliberation stages where we get to judge the teams. That's my favorite part, Thendo. We got to look at all these peoples and go, you know what? We're washed, we're casters, we can't play the game. But it means we get to judge the people who are playing the game. But again, we're looking at some very, very old school, new school, and like some seasoned individuals inside of the Apex scene. And I think that's so important, especially in a developing scene such as the South African Apex scene, to have the new and the old coming together and be able to do almost like a handover and that exchange of like information and hyping, and truly being pivotal, DNMK, that were able to play at such a standard as ALGS at one stage of their career. That's so important, because that bridges the gap between local and international. And I think that's really, really important. And truly being one of those players who's always been able to help people around the scene, give them information, give them tips, give them tricks. And you can see how much it's developed over time. So, big shout out to all of those players that are continuously helping the scene grow more and more as we're going along. But doesn't take away from the fact that they still have to kill each other.
Definitely doesn't take away from it, indeed. And I mean, talking point for tonight, I'm sorry guys, you're gonna get sick and tired of it, but DNMK obviously, right, dominating this gold tier right now, sitting at the top of the leaderboard with the most points, and they're looking to close things off with a bit of a bang, I'm sure. And we have to highlight one player, and he's just been leading the team from the front. Cheetah Boy has just been unstoppable in a lot of his gunfights. And I mean, it's looking hard to shut down DNMK with just the kind of form that they're in here. But Cinder, if there's any teams that you think can do it tonight, who else would you be looking at towards besides Carries, for example,
I mean, there's actually pretty diverse. I mean, look at Chi unit, right? We got Daniela, Misfortune, and some Yaku, which are decent individual players. They may not be predators, but that's not even a ranking that they should be comparing themselves to, because they are still really good individual players. And you're not playing against the top 100 in the world right now. You're playing at a level that's a bit more how do I say this? Not as experienced, put it that way. So you're on a bit of an equal footing in this kind of game, right? And I think it is so important that a lot of these lower echelon teams, these less experienced teams, understand that, playing your game can still put you out on top. You don't necessarily have to be the biggest and baddest, but making a decent rotation, making a decent call, knowing when to push and not when to push, and taking a third party can still put you above the likes of, the titans of the lobby like DNMK or Carries. They get involved in a fight, you see their name in the kill feed, you can see a particular skin that one of the players is wearing, and it's them, and you can go for that, or even poke with the charge rifle if you want, and just grease those teams. So it's anyone's game at the end of the day, but you just need to have your head and your wits about you, and just make sure that you're showing up.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you show up. A team that I'm looking forward to hopefully showing up here is Ascend Esports, not the Ascend that we just had, but the other Ascend Esports, just like how we had 2 SNMK squads, or was it even 3 at a point? But yeah, Sethi, Calder, Shambies, they've been in and around the competitive scene, especially Calder played in a couple of LGS tournaments himself, so he's got the experience down, as well as Shambies. Sethi might be, the little bit of the rookie on the team, but hey, plays a lot of Apex, definitely confident in his play, so we'll be seeing if they will be able to come through with any, good points on the board. Give me love. Saw them, the couple good looks here and there, up and down. Oh yes, SNMK1 is in this lobby. There is 3 guys.
Okay, you seem excited.
You need to keep up. What I'm saying, with the SNMK gang, just to make sure that you got everybody in. Lobby is also looking a little bit empty compared to what we've been previously seeing. Kind of like that first lobby that we just had. So, if that is to say anything, we might see a repeat show of just this one team kind of just running around Cyndalive and just dominating throughout the lobby.
I'm hoping we don't, and I'm really hoping that everyone does pitch up on their best game today, because again, we are looking at a bit more of a balanced lobby where you have a lot of good individual players scattered around in different groupings. So hopefully we are going to see some competitive games coming out, and not just a one-team show. But as you say, that does allow for a lot of points of interest to be not contested. Everyone should have their own jump spots, and it's going to come down to those rotations, and it's going to come down to, your IGLing. Where's the zone going to be pulling? What are you pushing, and what are you not pushing?
It is going to come down to a lot of IGLing. And, the IGL role is always one of those in Apex Legends that's quite difficult to hold up to, right? And compared to like a game like CSGO or Valorant, where you have 5 members on the team, Apex only has 3, right? And you're so pivotal in that third person role that it sometimes can be hard to have that overview of commanding the team around while still playing at your best performance, right? But some players are able to do it, right? Like Cheetah Boy, IGLing for the team of DNMK, but still leading the charge, consistently dropping about like 10 kills in some of these gold tier lobbies right now. So we'll see exactly how that continues to shape up. And if some other IGLs are going to step up to the plate tonight to lead their team in the charge. But with that, most of the lobby is in. We're getting shaped up to go. And now we get to talk about legends and who we're going to see in the game.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be seeing a different set of trio legends going into this game. I think, in certain lobbies you'll see certain legends appearing time and time again, and I think we are still going to see our Valkyries, we're still going to see our Wraiths. But I am expecting to see, a few Pathfinders, a few more Ashes, perhaps, and maybe, just maybe, a Bangalore. I think we're going to see 1 or 2 Bangalores. I don't know why.
Just
I think
the Bangalore gameplay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't Caramel. I'm pretty sure Caramel.
Yeah, Caramel does like
he's
to
a
play a
bang
little
mate.
bit. He's from he's South African, but staying in the UK. So, you got to be repping that Shiv FPS energy since Shiv is also from the UK.
That's
So
true.
the
And
Goats are actually doing quite well in the Pro League right now, to
speaking
everyone's
of him
surprise.
as an individual, he's been doing quite well for himself, since he's gotten into the game. And, you and I have been around enough to watch him grow from that. So we're good to see, so many different people getting into it and being able to, make their statement and put their name out there. And he's done quite well in doing so and learned a lot. Like it's crazy to watch these individuals improve day in and day out just by playing the game, making connections, playing with friends, and it's so good, and it's what brings this whole community together. But Shumbi, Sethi, and Calder, yeah, man, that pub must have been good.
Not that pub must have been good. A little bit more teams in this one. We have 13 this time around. So again, contesting. We hope to not see it off the beginning, but hey, maybe there's some brave souls DNMK like to land towards the end over there by Countdown and Lava Fisher, and it will also be a hot zone. So that might draw the attention of a couple of teams, but we'll have to wait and see, as most have dropped off early. And we got one in Geyser, one person going to a big mode. I think She Unit is going for the dome. Carries long side, so we might see that fight break loose with some of these rotations. But for now, no real big contentions happening.
No, not necessarily. Good play coming out from the likes of Carries, going straight onto Beacon, finding out that Northern pull. Goodness me. That
tough.
is quite the rotation that they're going to have to be making. But, with all the jump towers in here between, I'm sure they're going to be fine. Unfortunately, don't have a Valkyrie. We have a Tree on the Gibby. We have Caramel on the Bloodhound and a Queel on the Ash. I think it's a decent composition. And, I think a lot of people... It's hard to play a Bloodhound. It's hard to be a Bloodhound main when you don't have that much escapability. And, I really... Huge respect for the recon characters of the team who are able to, provide all that information for their team and, put themselves on the front line. Aim assist also running the exact same composition. So we're seeing a bit of a trend here. We have the likes of I'm Not Freshy, Sit Down, and Looper. Very good individuals as well. We see that Wingman in hand, so we're going to see a lot of Wingman play, which we really do enjoy. But look at Fragment West, Fragment East, Epicenter. That is where the whole entire center, the whole center of the zone is.
Just look at look at this. They each have a spot.
The audacity.
Right,
yeah, that's crazy. 3 points of interest for 3 players. Never have I ever.
I mean, only right here in the EGL Gold tier, ladies and gentlemen.
But why not, Thendo? Why not, dude? There's 14,
there's no one. There's definitely
squads.
no one.
Exactly. That's so smart. You're putting your best
get
foot
everything.
forward.
Odds are they all have purples right now, because there's no ways out of all 3 places that they don't get the purples. But
let's go this way.
As I was saying, oh wow, as I say that, it's like a bit of a jinx. A white, a blue, a gold, I guess, but not the greatest armors. They're still looking around for some stuff. But, ladies and gentlemen, here in the EGL Gold tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen, in this lull period, don't forget that if you're also looking for some loot, we are giving away a 250 Rand Steam voucher. Just type EGL Apex in the chat, no spaces, and only once, or you will get in trouble. And just enjoy right now as we watch Apex Scrubs just holding up the top of this high ground.
I genuinely thought you were being toxic, and then I read the name.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Apex Scrubs.
Imagine I was that toxic, man. Come on.
Nah, come on. You wouldn't. Nah?
Yeah, nah. Never. Come on.
Oh my goodness me. I mean, it's a lull period right now, as we are speaking about. 13 squads in the lobby. Everyone's going to be crafting. Everyone's going to be getting what they need. And when the rotations start to happen, that's when we're going to see, a little bit of action. But for the moment, everyone just trying to get comfortable. A few teams have already made their way to the first and the second zone. Unfortunately, we only know the second zone. unless you're on a recon character, won't have that information, but I'm sure most of these players will have an understanding of where that zone is going to pull. But looking at the likes of Gibby Love, using a Valkyrie, a Gibby, and a Bloodhound, it's so interesting that almost every single team we've seen thus far is running a little bit of a joke happening between the players there with that Valkyrie queue. But all of these teams seem to have one thing in common, and that is that Bloodhound.
Very crucial to get all that information, especially when things start. DNMK is still not together, bruh. Like, come on. Like,
Thendo, come on.
Guys.
Move on, dude.
I mean, Bradley's gonna have to be careful. There's a team close by, maybe coming that now to the rest, but still has a lot of room to back off. And they'll start to make the rotation soon.
Target spotted.
But hey, guys, look at what's going on over there at Climatizer near Epicenter and Overlook in the middle of all that action. It seems like there's a whole bunch of squads just converged onto this location. Gibby Love, I believe Ascent Esports is also involved in the mix here. There's also a team close by that they need to worry about.
It's absolutely crazy if you also look at DNMK, who are not DNMK. We just swapped off Carry Carras, who is also getting into a fight. We continue to watch this fight breaking down by Ascent Esports. Safety Plays, Shumbies, and Cold are trying to look on the aggressive here, but they seem to be getting aggressed on. The team is pushing onto their high ground, and they seem to not have an answer for it, not quite yet, as Shumbies is going to be forced to dome and pull himself back here. He does have the ulti, which he will be throwing out soon, but Gibby Love seemed to be in complete control.
Ulti's nowhere near them as well, so for the most part, to null effect. And Gibby Love is really pushing onto this, and they're not giving up. And I highlighted Gibby Love while we're entering into this game that they are a team to look out for if they can get themselves together. Shots flying through, not connecting with too much damage. This Thermite though is cooking them like they're on top of a grill.
Actually, just taking it.
You're
not cooked yet, bro. Medium rare, buddy. Oh, Latches. Not like that, buddy. Shumbies is going to get a beautifully cooked Bloodhound as the res is coming out, but I think it's going to be a little too late as Calder trying to take the aggressive. Unfortunately, he does get 2 down, but he's going to be traded down himself. 1 player remaining. It's the Valkyrie player. She's going to zoom away as best she can, just like a fly in the wind, but all flies must die, and that's exactly what's going to be happening there. That was just really unfortunate, but Latches, 2 Thermites, man. You gotta learn after the first one, surely.
You gotta slide down maybe or something after the second one is thrown, but just vibing on top of it, vibing no longer. DNMK have finally regathered themselves and are moving as a complement now.
Let's explore this.
Carries coming out of Lava Siphon with some points on top of that. We're in a kill. And then a kill in a fight as they move out. She unit close to them, so they gotta be careful on that rotation. But yeah, things are a little bit calm. But that zone, feeling outside over there of where Skyhook is, next to that broken down train station, it's always a tough one, especially when you don't have Gibbies on the team. But we still have 10 squads up here.
10 squads remaining, 27 alive as Zone 1 begins to close. ZA 420 seems to be looking towards this team just over here at Survey Camp. Get a little bit of damage, just level up that white Evo shield that unfortunately you don't want to be carrying much later into these later stages of the zone. Can be quite pivotal, and that's what we're talking about. You're only 50 HP away from being knocked, along with your HP, your health bar, but ZA420 are played down now and finding themselves on the back foot, and guess who's on the aggressive? It's DNMK, and they are looking poised and ready. Sees the beautiful Ash ulti, open for the picking, does Vayazu. It's 2 players down. DNMK looking to wipe out ZA420.
I just got in a tough spot there. ZA420. And Cheetah Boy's just got a nice little angle, just frying them on the side. And if you look at how the map is situated, right? DNMK has a lot of room to just walk around and clear a lot of teams just based on the side that they're coming from. No one's behind them for the most part. Everyone is actually in front of them if you look at how the map is right now. So as long as that's the case, they'll be sitting pretty. And there's still quite a number of teams that are making this rotation. And everyone's getting sucked up into Epicenter because there's just so many fights, I believe, that at least shots that are being flung around the Epicenter right now. That's drawing a bunch of teams as we tune into Sparks here. Just holding things down in one of these buildings at the top of this ridge. And for now...
Shot.
Enemy spotted.
The shots just like mosquitoes, man. Just drawing people towards that nest, as you say, Epicenter just being really, really contested. But right now, Sparks looking very comfortable on top of this high ground, being able to spot one of the players, but getting extremely humbled very quickly from the likes of Bradley, utilizing that 301. And DNMK just solidifying their position in the zone. They continue to make this wraparound to the backside of the zone, making sure they clear their back, make sure there's no lurking rats or lurking teams looking to make a little bit of a spoiler. But it seems like they might want to take the aggressive onto this team. They know that it's just the Valkyrie holding that one-sided door. They do have the likes of the Gibraltar by Azu. They can utilize that dome should they need it. But he's going to get the high ground here and see if they can get some kind of initiation into this next fight.
Making contact with the enemy.
The angle is there from Vias as he takes down some shots but doesn't connect for too much damage. As DNMK are still looking to aggress onto this. But there are so many teams in the area that someone needs to make a call that, hey, the rotations might be due. But Bradley is just mowing down the squad on the bottom of this ridge, close to where Climatizer is. DNMK looking to back off right now. And they just see way too many people there. And there's still a squad coming out of the tunnel for them that they might run into. And I mean, just look at that zone.
This whole western side just seems to be a huge gatekeep.
Oh,
So many teams. Oh my goodness me.
Oh, Cheetah Boy.
Dynamic
some
taking a
beams.
couple of shots. I wanted to just scan the area, get a lay of the land as it were, and they come return to a waiting team who seems to be taking their spot, but they're able to get a crack onto the Pathfinder. They're going to be able to push onto that as they get another player down to flesh, and that's the go. That's what they needed. That is the gap in the space they needed to close, and they've been able to do so, utilizing that Gimme Dome. They can now force their way into this, and then with those PKs in hand, unfortunately the opposing player is holding the door, but that's going to be kicked down, communicated by the teammate. Bradley going to get the trade. The follow-up is going to be there straight onto the Pathfinder. One player remaining on the opposing team, all cleaned up and wiped. Bradley, the only person who seemed to have taken a majority of the damage during that fight.
Moving here.
Nice little cleanup for the NMK. Amos is just perched up over here in Epicenter. Zone will be pulling away from them. Kara's carries are actually in a really good position right now in our gatekeeping. I believe what looks like Ascend Esports. So Kara carries. Caramel getting a knock in the kill feed. Yeah, right there onto Shambi. So Ascend and Kara carries waged in a war at the edge here. DNMK is close by. DNMK is taking out what actually Ascend Esports from the distance, it looks like. On top of that, Kara's carries just holding on to this side. But yeah, there's so much control for DNMK in this survey camp ending that they can just really, you know, walk around and just scope whatever they need to. Look, Cheetah Boy's even going for this drop. Could find a Kraber. Please find a Kraber. We want a Kraber. Come on, man. Not a G7 Scouts.
Hey, don't sleep on the scout, man. Come on.
You know what? Scout is not bad, but it's definitely a very high skill weapon, I believe, you know?
And what better player to be using it than your boy Cheetah Boy?
For sure.
He's got the cheats. He's got what he needs. And speaking of cheats, we look towards aim assist who are pushing up onto this hill. That's a joke. Just calm down, console players. Joke. I'm not freshy, sit down and loopy boogie. They seem to be making a wise decision here, because as we did see, you know, this more eastern southern approach is the less congested of, you know, all the ways to get into these final zones. So I really do respect the rotation coming out from them. As you can see, there's only one lonely player, LM Entrix, who unfortunately is just trying to bide his time and get those lovely, delicious placement points. But we have the likes of She Unit, or the only duo unit of the teams, who are trying to make it in here. Unfortunately, they have a DC with the likes of Daniela, bro, but Sammy Q and Misfortune, we know what they can do, we know what they are capable of, and hopefully we're going to see it here.
They find themselves in at least a good spot if they had went together. But Misfortune has broken away from Sammy Q, and Amos just roll up and ruin their day. And it's all up to Misfortune to just rat things out. Oh no, DNMK is walking inside here. And DNMK probably sees Misfortune and will probably just try beam her out of the situation. But there's also that other team in front of them. Bradley's on another ultimate that will pop, and he just peeks over with the flatline and does heaps amount of damage. Vyas is looking to get aggressive as well. On top of that, does still have the dome to play with. Big scan over there to reveal that they're underneath, and I think he's just gonna swoop down over here. The massive shots from Cheetah Boy connects. And with Vyas finishing that through with the R301, they will find the kill. And DNMK just systematically cleaning this side of the zone to make sure that no one's on their backs. And yeah, the team is gonna keep running and running away. Poor aim assist. He just walked into the big bad wolf.
Very much so. I mean, it's a bit of a trend that we're seeing. You know, we go from last game to these games again. One team just being more dominant than the other, being dynamic, and I say that in the sense that they're constantly moving, never taking one position. They know where the zone's going to end. They know where they need to play, but it seems like they're not going to do that because he's just going to go straight in. Takes the Gibby Doe down. He's going to have enough damage and is able to triple tap with that thing and get 2 players down, and it's going to be a quick cleanup with a few armor swaps coming in, but it's all said and done before we can finish the sentence.
What do you mean? He just pulls out the G7 Scout and uses
G7
it.
Scout.
No! Don't come back to bite me, please.
Yeah, exactly.
In the hands of Vyas, it's a different situation. Like I said, very high-skilled weapon that needs to be used with care.
Still being shown, my friend. That was a
Still
quadruple tap coming out there to finish that Ash, unfortunately. But that puts them right back in the zone. And look
He's
at
at it
this.
again! He's at it again with the
Stop it,
G7 Scout.
Bully. Stop it. Why are you bullying?
Yeah.
But
Quite
again,
interesting to see
what do they
Vyas
need to
kill
do?
leader.
They don't really need to move at this point, Thendo. You know, everyone's kind of found a home, found a spot, and Cheetah Boy taking a lesson
An
in
advanced
climbing,
position, yeah.
apparently.
Ish, oof,
Mike.
no. Oh damn, that did not go his way. Chaos carries are engaged in a fight. It actually looks like I was about to mention how they seem to just be hanging on the edge of the zone. But it seems like shots are flying towards them. And here they are. They've actually got the best position right now, looking at where that next zone pull is going to be. For them right now, it's looking really good. Quill with some massive shots pulling in through. It looks like Bradley has found Misfortune, so she'll be out of the count, and so will she unit. We have 5 squads up now in this zone that is going to be closing very soon, and teams will start to have to rotate. Karaskari is in a really good spot to gatekeep that team, and right now everybody just trying their very best to find a spot into this next zone.
Man, oh man, DNMK just seem to be finding picks every single way they look, as we see another rotating team coming in from that tunnel area. Bradley taking a bit of aggressive. Unfortunately, not needing to be too aggressive, as all it's going to take is Vyazu to triple tap the likes of Triple M. He's going to go down. There's still another player remaining behind them, but it seems like they want to take a more aggressive position. They want to get more centralized, knowing the zone is pulling a little bit further. They want to secure it nice and quick. If they do spot another lonely Bangalore, he's going to try and make it out of here, but unfortunately a bit of body blocking coming out there. But it seems like the Cheetah Boy is going to go down to the likes of Alim in tricks, and he's going to keep running as the Bangalore would. Lays down the smokes. He's going to get out dodged, but that allows for the rest to come in. But he needs to heal. He needs to find somewhere to go.
Dude, I think he's been a solo the entire game and has made it at this point.
Well, good on him for making it to a top 4 situation, but we're in a top 3 situation now. 9 players remaining. They've spotted a squad that's sitting on perched on their little nest there. And I can only imagine that's the likes of the Caramel Carries.
It's actually Sparks that are sitting on top over there. Listen.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Carry, Sparks, and DNMK. The deadly triangle, as we like to say, because it all comes down to who's going to start the fight first.
Yeah, Karaskari is in a good spot though. To try to close this one off. Oh, there's some aggression coming on to Aquil, and Aquil needs to get out of dodge because it's looking tough, and he's already unlocked from Cheetah, and Bias has confirmed it, and now they're just gonna get bullied by DNMK over here. Carries, they got caught sleeping with their pants down. One member is down already. Oh no, DNMK, not like that. Now Sparks are in a good spot because they can maybe third party this kind of situation.
What is that, man?
What is that?
What is that, bro? Bayazi, relax, bro. He has a wife and kids. Chill.
Oh, that need. Oh, please. Alright, they ran away from it. Thank goodness. I was a bit worried there. They just called in a Moby? They're about to attempt to res him? Or is there actually just that mobile beacon close by as well? There's actually just two. So there is a Moby that's what called in.
That's the correct play.
Yeah, this is the correct play. You have to try bringing back in because if you're gonna 3v2 against the NMK, it's not gonna happen. Oh my gosh, the NMK spot that this team is just inside this rock right now, and they're like, all right, well, we have to deal with them pretty soon.
This shouldn't be a favorable position. We're looking at DNMK, and they probably have one of the worst positions. They need to put themselves in something that's a bit more favorable. Yes, they're covered by one team, at least for now, but as soon as they make their way away from that rock, they're going to find themselves all in the open, and this team on the high ground doesn't have to move until afterwards, so it seems like they're trying to find some footing to try and get some shots here, but carries, they have quite
just
a lot
in
to
the
work
pod,
with.
you know? Just peace in the pod, just vibing things out, and Bradley's trying to get cheeky and climb up over here and try to shoot these guys.
Maybe it's just a mind game. Maybe he's just making the noise, just trying to filter them out. But they do have the Gibraltar ulti if needed, Thendo. Oh my god.
Oh no! Biting a little bit too much than what you can chew over here, DNMK. As one goes down, Cheetah Boy, they're gonna look for the res, but it's not in the golden backpack department. The zone's also gonna start to close in, so now they'll be under a lot of pressure. There is an armor swap at least. You gotta be thinking about carries right now. Have they managed to bring one back in? Just not yet. It's gonna have to be a Trilly and Caramel Gamer show over here as they're trying to swoop one in. He's gonna pop the ulti Caramel Gamer to try and find some information. He finds that one team is still up on the top, so they're gonna have to be careful for this push. DNMK and Sparks are gonna be waged in war. Our Trilly's taking up a lot of damage. The zone is closing on Cinder, and it's looking a little bit hectic right now for either of these teams to clutch it out.
It's so good for carries. They just need to bide their time. They don't need to initiate, and that's truly getting a knock onto Red X. This is perfect for them. If they can just buy time, and let these two fight it out to the best of their ability, they can get the best of the situation. And right now, it seems like Cheetah gets the thirds on Red X, but he's going to get humbled onto Caramel. Caramel going low, truly getting low as well. No dome to be popped, unfortunately, but that leaves Sparks on the high ground. Does get the down onto Vayazu. It's Bradley and Cheetah Boy in a 2v2 situation. Only 4 players remaining in this lobby, and I don't think they're going to be able to get Vayazu up. Not right now, and Bradley gets dropped on. He's going to get damaged, but it's not enough. DNMK holds strong, and they take game 1.
I feel like DNMK has no business winning that game. You know, carries are swinging around at about a good time to kind of third party that and capitalize, but ultimately I feel like Spark's position really led to their downfall, right? They just had so much high ground and they were doing so much damage from above to both DNMK and carries that it just ultimately landed in the downfall. And yeah, DNMK on top.
I mean, for sure, but considering they were able to hold that high ground they need the team of, I mean, for example, carries, they didn't need to move too much there, considering how slow that zone was moving. And the likes of Sparks were still on the high ground. As much damage as they were doing, unfortunately, that wasn't enough to hinder Dynamic. Dynamic just holding it down. They had the armor swaps prepared, ready, and waiting. And they held it to perfection, and they were able to come out on top. But as you say, that high ground in its own way was detrimental to Sparks. But yeah, man, it was very interesting. It was brilliant that Dynamic was able to win that out, considering, but it wasn't in their favor. At least, you know, from our PV, I genuinely think that Sparks had it in them had things gone their way.
You see, the problem is I feel like they were playing a bit too passively for the end game. Yes, yeah, you have the high ground, you have a lot of control, but I think once you start to see that Kara's carries are starting to push out and swing towards that right hand side to peak where DNMK are on that rock, you need to slide down and take that position and get control of the zone closing in, because ultimately that's really your best bet in closing things out. But I mean, yeah, valiant effort, coming through from Kara's carries and from Sparks to come in that top three. But ultimately, we said it in the beginning that we might be saying their name quite a lot, and TNMK are the team to come up on top over here. And I mean, there's a couple of teams that I thought would see a little bit more from. I'm looking at She Unit, Gibi Love, thinking of Ascend, but they just kind of got lost in the mix.
It did, but you see most of these rotations, as you spoke about, towards that epicenter, that western side was very, very tough to get into. You had to come from more of an easternly southern approach, and we did look at a couple of teams that were doing that, and towards the end game, they were just gated once again. So do we look to these players to be getting an early position in zone? And if so, can they hold to themselves the fact that DNMK is going to be rampant and pushing if they find the gap? I mean, the biggest law right now is, even if you do get into zone early, are there enough teams that are going to prevent the likes of DNMK, for example, in taking your position and being able to build up that real estate as we've seen them do throughout that game?
You know what? It's kind of odd, because when I was looking at just how the zone was playing out, I thought DNMK was just in a good spot in terms of being central of the zone. The problem with being center zone is that everyone is converged around you, right? And
For sure.
I kind of thought that, hey, this might be where we see them, go down, falter off. But they just were holding their ground pretty much and just winning gunfights. So it's actually coming down to gunfights. Teams need to be a little bit more coordinated in gunfight. And it goes back to that moment, right, where we just see, that 2-tap with that G7 scout, just the coordination that comes in from DNMK. Viaz enters from the point while you have Bradley and Cheetah entering from the back. And it's fights like that teams aren't really coordinated with, that will cost them when it comes to, these later stages. That was the first game. We still have 2 to play. And second game is always a tough one, right, in these 3-game series, because if you don't get anything good out of this second game, that third game is going to be absolute hell. And especially since we're closing up on this gold tier now, yeah, man, you got to be looking for these points.
Absolutely. Very, very, very much so. I mean, I would like to see, a couple more of these teams making earlier rotations, getting a foothold in that zone, because I think it is crucial, especially towards the later stages of that zone. Even if it's zone 1 and you find most teams are already, towards the end game or into those later stages of the zone, it provides that extra pressure where everyone is looking at everyone, and you don't just have one team. You notice dynamic, once again, just playing so diversely, never staying in one position, making sure they clear their backs every single time. And it's just methodical. And if you got to hint that if you want to be able to deal with that, you need to try and hinder that with the addition of baiting them into another team, or getting another team that's going to provide them with an extra, challenge, so to speak.
Yeah, maybe just also deciding what fights to pick and when not to pick fights is also a big thing that a lot of teams, are struggling in this gold tier with. We hope to see a little bit more decisiveness coming through in the platinum tier, where we'll see teams deciding not to take specific fights and choosing alternative rotation paths. And, I think that's exactly a good example, that last game where there's just a bunch of teams flocking towards the gunshots because, hey, guys, let's third party. We'll get some free KP. But little do you know, there's 5 third parties in that one area. And it's really just understanding that, DNMK was the only team at a stage that really had full control of Survey Camp, right? Yes, there were teams here and there, but they kind of just bullied them off that area. But ultimately, if there are more teams inside Survey Camp in that situation, DNMK doesn't really have that right anymore, because as soon as they start aggressing a team, there's someone close enough to third party, but there were just not enough teams close enough to third party DNMK, at least in this game, because they were all drawn to those fights that were happening close to Climatizer.
Absolutely. I mean, going forward, they know exactly what needs to be done, and hopefully we'll see that happen. But all in all, the game looked competitive. Everyone was doing what they needed to do And everyone seems to have no issue with anything. I mean, again, we look at the initial drops. No POVs were really contested. The zone was a hard northern bull. Very, very difficult for some of those southern teams, but they were able to make that happen. The likes of Kara Carries, who were on the complete opposite side of the map, but they made it in safely in kinds of lobbies, especially considering that it isn't a full lobby. You got to take that grace while it's afforded to you. And hopefully we can see a couple of these outlying teams and the lower echelon teams just make something more of this next game, knowing that they're capable. Any of these teams are capable. They just got to put in the work.
Putting in work is definitely what is going to help a lot of these teams out as the lobby starts to fill back up here, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, yeah, we didn't see any teams in Fragment, which is quite interesting now that we're talking about POIs. On top of that, why do you think that no teams were in a Fragment? It's always heavily contested, at least in higher echelon lobbies. But oftentimes I find, at least in these gold tier lobbies, that there's never really a team in some circumstances that ever land there. And if there are teams that land there, it's always more than one. It's quite odd.
It's like that kind of that mentality where you're, to use the word lightly, a crackhead who goes to Fragment. You kind of go, well, there's probably another group of crackheads that are going to land there. So you don't want to kind of go, well, do we hinge our bets on that? Do we commit to Fragment knowing that there's likely going to be another team? And I think they cancel each other out. Neither of the more confident and, the more confident teams want to risk it, so to speak. I mean, looking at DNMK, they're always landing on the eastern side of the map towards that lava fissure area. And as you say, taking 3 points of interest. 3 points of interest to themselves, which is fine. In this kind of lobby, you can get away with it for sure. But at the same time, you got to look at the previous game. No one landed a Fragment. Maybe that's a good idea. It's a central approach. You have so many different ways you can rotate out of Fragment, and it's pretty decent loot from what we've seen. So hopefully we'll see a couple of these teams taking note of that and being able to rotate out. I'm being able to take that POA.
What I'm more interested in is, will DNMK be greedy again and take 3 points of interest like they just did in that previous game? And I mean, with that, we don't have to wait any further. The game is launching up and we're getting ready for the character selection very soon. And yeah, you know what? It's really going to be another one of those nights where we're wondering, will DNMK do the three-peat, Cinder, right? Will they win 3 out of 3 games in this one? Karas Curries are definitely feeling the heat. Saw a little bit of Twitter hoo-ha-rah, a
little bit of banter between the boys.
Between the boys. Cheetah Boy was like, Caramel, you better watch out because we're coming for you. And I mean, hey, we all saw what happened.
You must let them come. I think it's very good, having that banter. It just adds that extra, initiative, that extra incentive, so to speak. Like when you see them in the kill feed, let's go for them because it's a pride thing, and I think it's friendly competition. I think it's very good. So hopefully we're going to see that transcend into something, and hopefully we won't see another DNMK wash down. But once again, man, like this is gold. As you say, it's still the seeding process, and once all these teams are filtered, that's where the real challenge is going to be. Going into championship weekend is going to be a different ball game, so take these games as they are, learn something from it, learn how these teams are playing, and if you are seeing them in the final, then at least you have that information to go with, right?
Not those who've fallen.
Imagine entering the lobby and you're seeing those banners, dude. You're just scared, man.
Hot drop them, go.
They're monsters, quickly, let's hot drop on.
Get the pred.
That might be a play. That might be a play.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I recently watched a YouTube short of It's Timmy and 2 others. They saw a pred trail in a pub and they ran and punched him, and then they quit. It was the weirdest thing. So trails are definitely things to go by. As much as they are, things to be proud of, it's also something that could be your detriment because it singles you out in the lobby.
Yeah, it really does single you out. You'll be like, hey, we know exactly who that is. And it goes back to that whole cosmetics thing that we had a little bit of a chat about, right? Where
Yeah.
when the lobbies start to filter down a little bit more, you start to understand what skins people like to run, and eventually you'll be able to identify specific squads just based on their skins, you know?
Very, very much so. And I think it's a good thing because it does allow you to. It's that that extra information ability where you can identify one team just from one person's skin. So it's a very good thing. You don't have the additions of name tags. You don't have those things unless you're looking at the kill feed. And if you're a good IGL or a good player, it's something you do keep in mind, especially in these competitive games. You need to know who's dying. You need to know what you're going up against because it can actually help you in the later stages of the game. Carries sticking with their previous drop from last game. And they seem to be doing pretty good on the armor side, getting 2 blues. Aquil, I'm sure, just waiting for his turn. Sure we'll find one. R3 one in the hands of a truly, again, very versatile weapon. We see a lot of it. And able to get a ball. Maybe something special. That's good. So that's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, maybe not what he wanted exactly. Just to let you guys know, DNMK has dropped at Lava Fisher, Countdown, and Landslide once again.
Nice.
Uncontested. Having a good time. Zone's pulling towards them as well. And I mean, if you're any of these other teams, at least on the south side of the map, you're gonna have to be worried because there is quite a strenuous journey that you need to go through. I'm looking at Chi unit, at carries. They need to make these really long rotations. Team's a little bit closer to the zone, but still a little bit far. Like I said, the Evesports right here. We're making this rotation and towards the climatizer. Hey, wait, there's a couple of teams of climatizer. What? Hello?
Content? No, okay. Ascend Esports. I mean, this is quite interesting how they're taking this approach once again. Going towards the southern side of the map. When you look towards the zone pole, it wouldn't be a bad idea to obviously make this rotation, try to get some extra plays, but once again, we see the likes of Thendoplays, Shambi moving up from that overlook area, and you might just see a fight and a collision happening between these two teams.
We might just see a fight. We do hear some shots on top of that. Oof, nice little zoom in there. Shows us that there's like a snake of teams following each other, coming from Lava Siphon towards Harvester, so some fights might happen there as well. And She unit is close to the one solo in the game.
It's that tense moment where everyone's just on top of each other, but no one's trying to falter out too soon,
Quick little points update over here. DNMK dropped a 30 bomb after that one. 30 points right now for them. After that is Karis Carry with only 50. So, a little bit tough. Sparks walk away with 10. Coming in the third place there. And some shots now being exchanged over here. And, a little bit of damage onto the Pathfinder player. They need to be really careful here. Prezzies. The ult is going to be popped. Will they find some good information to maybe make an aggressive play? And they will be moving up because they do have a lot of room to work with. All the beams coming through here. Yin pulling through the wingman, but the domes pop just in time. Has to slide on in with the Ultra One. The damage is good. The Oxstars are flying in as well. This fight is going in the favor of Prezzies as they drop one down to try and confirm this last kill onto Brightburn. Good movie.
Brightburn, the last remaining play. He's gonna try and use that Valkyrie LT, but a little too late.
Wait, hear me out. Brightburn, you know that Superman version where he's evil and then Brightburn is actually playing Valkyrie.
Hold that thought. Carry Caramels. They want to get involved. They're third the shots and they want to see if they can pick up some KP here. This guy coming out from my word. This team. Kara carries. Unfortunately, not being able to find... Oh, maybe a crack. Oh, a little bit of a cross. Maybe something to talk... No, but nothing to write home about. Literally just fighting alone here, trying to get some picks. Looks like they want to aggress. But going back to your point, Thendo, you were saying?
Yeah, you know, Brightburn, she's playing Valkyrie, trying to fly away, Superman flies. Anyways, back to Kara's carries with archery. They're taking up a lot of damage and really needs to be careful. Yeah, Aquila at least confirms a knock onto one member down there in the tunnel. And Kara carries are looking to just clean this one up real quick and move on with their day. And these are some really well deserved points for them after what happened in that last game. Yeah.
True.
I think just that solo will get away.
Yennefer, the casualty of that exchange, the likes of Kara carries. Down the camera, being able to secure that, but on the other side of the world, we have Ascend Esports and ascending to the heaven. They are. Because Aim Assist has made sure to put them to rest.
Down for the count.
Aim Assist looking very good, considering they were able to win that fight. Interestingly enough, we haven't been able to see DNK thus far. We're seeing quite a diversity of groups fighting each other and trying to get some KP before they endlessly run up against the Titans. And speaking of Titans, Kara carries in another fight, and they've been able to get a crack onto the horizon. He's trying to run away, and it seems like Aquil's confident to push this as he does get an nade coming out. That's going to slow him down, but he's going to continue his aggression. No, he's going to have to hit back. Unfortunately being cracked, but allows his two teammates to aggress based on the information he was given. But it seems like the team was able to make it out of dodge, and that's what Kara carries needs to do as this zone is closing.
Dude, DNMK was over the ridge where Lava Fisher is, and the team that's just down there were not spotted out by them, and they made their way back towards the zone. DNMK must be wondering, where are all the squads right now? Well, they're all fighting down either at the epicenter or coming out of Harvester right now. She unit might walk into Kara carries, and that might be a fight that breaks up.
What's interesting to note is DNMK, as you said, just being as dynamic and diverse as they are, always taking ground. They've opted for a more passive approach this game. Zone pulled directly onto them. They had no need to move. Now maybe making a little bit of aggressive as they try to scout out the teams that are coming towards the zone. But, it's interesting that all these teams not going in the path of DNMK.
Oh, someone's in front of Bradley there, and I'm sure he spotted that one out. Come to the team that, hey, we might find someone near that we can have a little bit of fun with. There is the 9 spot up, so there's still quite a lot of room for DNMK to make a little bit of noise over here as Cheetah is going to try to swing around the corner, and there's Lonely Puff on the place. He's going to try to run away from the R31 beams of Cheetah Boy. Just gets away slightly with a little bit of HP, but they'll be running away as fast as they can and just gonna get caught out by the rest of the DNMK squad, I'm sure, very soon. And these actually...
Oh my god! Cheetah Boy doing 100 clean damage with one clip of the 301 from such a distance. Bradley to follow up with that rampage onto Burning, getting the thirst as well. Another point secured in the bag. DNMK, they were lying like sleeping dogs, and now they're on the prowl as they continue this aggression onto the team holding this building. 2 players remaining for that team, 1 portal out, so it seems like dynamic. They're going to keep hunting, they're going to keep pushing. They found the Ash, and that's going to be proper going down to the likes of Cheetah Boy. The scan coming out, not revealing any hostiles, but they do know that there's still 1 player remaining, so I'm sure they're going to try and hunt for that KP as well. But always making sure they're not taking these concealed fights. Laying a few shots onto the escaping Valkyrie. But 2 KP, I'm sure they're going to be happy with that.
Only 1 up unit. Just trying to survive Soul Horizon. And we've seen some great Horizon plays already from Calamitous on that last group stage game. But as a solo, it's a little bit tough to make anything up. Prezzi's only down to the 1. Maybe a couple of placement points here and there, We might find some. She and Kara carries have just been rotating next to each other, side by side, and have not ran into each other yet. They might converge here at Landslide, which looks like it's about to happen. The C unit is not really too aware that they might be a team approaching them from this angle. But they're making their way through the tunnel right now, and they just might catch them. But not quite.
Yeah.
They're gone. They will get this beacon scan at least.
At the very least. Unfortunately, the lone solo player, Elementrix, has been eliminated, so that brings us down to 8 squads, 20 people remaining in the lobby. Carries still continuing on this aggressive as they rotate into this next zone. Only round 2 as we start to aggress towards the Skyhook area, and it's a lot of, again, late rotations. Not too many teams wanting or opting for that early rotation to go, get guard spot, as it were, but we can see a few shots in the distance. Carries seem to have run right into DNMK, who are on their rotation back to their position, and it seems like they're on the back foot. The portal coming out from the field, trying to get the boys out, and it seems like they're going to be able to do so. No, it truly does go down. They need to instantly res that, and that's exactly what they're going to do, is the aggression is going to continue coming from DNMK, but there is another team that was lurking behind, so they could see a third party coming out here, but Carries
oh my gosh, Bradley!
not able to do anything as Bradley swoops in and cleans that up as quick as it began. The armor swaps coming in, and it seems like there is the third party coming. Unfortunately not. They opted to just continue rotating, so a friendly 3v3 that ended with Carries being eliminated, and DNMK once again adding more to their arsenal.
Just unfortunate, man. And I was talking about how maybe Carries are gonna find She Unit, and She Unit, you have to commend them. They are good on rotations, man. They hold off on getting into fights. They wait things out. They find some good, routes to go, and they make it to these top situations. They just avoided DNMK. That could have been them in that situation, but no, it's Carries. DNMK is still looking dominant, and now you really have to question, with Carries down, who will stop them in the lobby? Maybe Aim Assist, who are still here at the Skyhook. They got some points on the board, at least for now.
2 more solos to be had in the lobby, as we have 7 squads alive. Good placement points to be gathered here as we switch over to MK1, who have been in Sky for quite a while here. So everyone, 3 teams have found a decent hold, at least going towards the later stages of the game. As we have zone closing in 1 minute, zone 3. But everyone, again, just trying to find a footing and just ready for the onslaught that's going to ensue, as we see DNMK arriving tardy as always, trying to scope out where everyone is playing. Oh my goodness me, that scout once again in their hands.
Just disgusting, so honestly, man, from DNMK.
Crazy.
They're just rolling up on whatever squad is in front of them. And speaking of rolling, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to roll for that giveaway. If you didn't enter, unlucky. But we'll be finding out a winner very, very soon on who that might be. And speaking of winners, the team that was almost a winner, Sparks here, holding up a good position in building. And I mean, another team we have to commend for rotations. They find good spots. Here they are on another spot.
Yep, they're poised, they're ready, and they have got a beautiful spot coming into this next zone, as we can see it shifting towards them, towards that market area, that deadly, deadly market area that we've seen time and time again. MK, just looming over, just watching the fighting that's ensuing between these 2 teams. Damage being farmed on either side, no knocks to come out, unfortunately. And on the side there, we see the likes of Loopy just chilling. Everyone just biding their time, waiting for the zone to get smaller and smaller until eventually these teams are going to have to go hand in hand, toe to toe, and measure up to the Arcstar. Oh no. My word, unfortunately just missing it by a hinge. Knowing that there's now a player above them, are they going to choose to push this up? And it's the solo, it's XA, it's Unit 7. Is it going to be able to hold this against the likes of 3? Yitro right in place, who can get out, but is it going to get out in time? He tracks the player with a nice massive shot. to follow up, but unfortunately it hasn't put him down. Is he going to continue to stay here, or is he going to try to get out of dodge? He's going to drop down to the low ground, be able to close the door behind him, but they are right behind him. He needs to keep going. Is he going to choose? He's going to have to hold this door. He's going to try and pop a cell, but there's still some shots coming out from the likes of DNMK. He's going to throw down the ulti, go to the high ground, get a beautiful bit of damage done, but not enough. And he has this flying Valkyrie just constantly being...
Person does not want to go down, man. Just running and running up and down, showing
You have
why...
to commend him, though.
Yeah, man, you do. Showing why Horizon is such a powerful legend with just that versatility of being able to take immediate high ground like that. If it wasn't a Valkyrie, you know, if that wasn't a Valkyrie, we could be talking different things. You know, he would have gotten up there undetected, maybe gotten the heal off and reset. But the zone is putting out into the open over there now. So it's looking a little bit dangerous for a lot of these teams. They're trying to pull on Inshi unit, bunkered up in a building with that caustic. So, you know, they'll be comfortable. At least just for now. DNMK not looking to get involved into any real big fights for now. Cheetah Boy just popping off a couple of shots here and there.
As he does, and as he would. Looking at 1,000 damage to his name right now. It's a little less than a normally used to seeing him at, but he's going to continue to farm as the zone continues to close. Round 4 on its way, and there's one looming team outside the zone that needs to try and find a home, and it's going to be very difficult considering there's only one building open to be played towards that market area, and they have to make their way through 3 squads. A scout coming out from Bayazu, Cheetah Boy with his R301 who's able to get down race face, but it seems like 2 players have been able to make it in just at the very least. Sparks still holding strong on top of this building. They have full overview and full oversight as they're sitting very pretty, but it is going to be difficult for the likes of the remaining squad just outside the zone. He's going to have to push in here. Unfortunately, Bradley getting onto Slizzo, and that's going to be the end of MNK, I think. So DNMK, Sparks, and her, sorry. Name it eludes me. She unit. Sorry,
unit.
My apologies.
Yeah, she unit.
She unit looking pretty good. They have a nice little bit of work. Okay, calm down, relax, Misfortune. You gotta heal up. Because Vayazi's on the prowl with that scout.
Yeah. On the prowl with that scout.
Yeah. 5 squads. 13 people remaining, Thendo. Zone 5.
Yeah, just broke down real quick, to be honest with you. And you know what? Right now, it's really the teams that are closer to the zone that we're looking at in terms of just being a little bit secure for this one. Aim assist in a tough position if teams push up on towards them. They don't watch all these angles. It's always tough holding up this area. But hey guys, we got a winner for that giveaway before things get a little bit too hectic. And the winner for that giveaway will be Blur_ZA. So one of the EGL admins will contact you on winning that 250 Rand Steam voucher. Everyone's a winner tonight, not just DNMK and Ghosted Herd. DNMK pulling up onto a good position.
Oh! Cheetah Boy being a little bit humbled there, unfortunately, gonna have to back. As you say, DNMK just trying to push a little bit forward, but notice they've made a portal towards market area, and that's exactly what the zone's going to be pulling, but they are the ones on the outskirts. They're the ones that have to make their way in, and they do have the Gibby should things get hairy, and She unit, they're also outlying team that needs to make something happen. They do have the Gibby, thankfully, and they're going to utilize that Gibby ulti as well to continue their push towards this as the zone is on their backs. Sandy Q's going to throw out that caustic ulti to try and deter the team that's already holding the likes of aim assist, and they are going to be deterred just for now, but it all comes down to who's going to be able to shoot first, who's going to be able to get the pick initially, and it seems like it's going to be an all-out brawl between 3 different teams. Aim assist, unfortunately, 2 players down. Loopy Booger, the last remaining player, who just gets shot from every single angle, and he's going to be run up on by the likes of DNMK, who have taken that market position, but now they need to defend. There's 3 squads remaining, including the likes of DNMK. TX has been knocked, so it is a 2v3v1 right now as the solo is pushing up behind DNMK, but DNMK taking the aggression straight to the outlying Gibby, who's going to go down at 81. He's not out of the game yet. They need to finish that kill before they can get the res. They are going to do so. So it's a 3v1v1 situation. DNMK all in control, all out warfare. Unfortunately, Bradley just extending a little bit too far out into the zone there. But man, oh man, there's the lone Ash, the last remaining player, as the res is going to come out to Bradley. One last solo to be dealt with, and that's the likes of ZA420. I can't imagine he's going to be able to do too much here. And it does seem like DNMK should wrap this up quite nicely.
And wrap it up. They do.
You sounded hesitant. You didn't think it was going to happen.
Hey, dude, you know, sometimes you hit that lucky headshot and then everything just goes pretty good for you. Never know. But DNMK will clean that one up and secure the second game of the night. To no surprise, at least, you know, if you're looking at how everything went down towards that end game. And I mean, as soon as they took out carries who were the other dominating team in this lobby, started going downhill, at least for everybody else. Uphill for DNMK. And I mean, yeah, even with Bradley getting knocked in the zone there, nothing really could have happened. And what a time, honestly, to just be inside the lobby and just absorb that kind of energy. Because what do you even do when there's just so much action flying in and around you, and there's also just DNMK chasing you down? Everything crumbles, and we saw a lot of squads crumbling as it came down to it. And I mentioned how that spot in the market is hard to hold up, and it's, you know, we saw the teams going down because you don't have all those angles covered. Teams are just going to come and push up on you.
I mean, they did the best they possibly could, and as you say, 3 different teams towards that rotation on that final zone made it very, very difficult. And market is not, if you've been in a fight in market, it's not the easiest place to hold down by any means. You know, the likes of She Unit, who are still trying to push, they were able to throw down that ulti, get that Gibby Dome down, throw that aggressive caustic ulti to try and deter the holding squad, and it just couldn't go in their favor. The likes of DNMK on their side, it was really, really difficult. And that zone is difficult, but there is still one more game to be played, and there's still hope for any outlying teams other than DNMK to take it home, as well as DNMK to take 3.
DNMK to take 3s on our mind for sure here, ladies and gentlemen. It is the EGL 1 Gold Tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. It's been an action-packed night. We've had the storylines of just these overarching teams that are just running and dominating the lobbies. But we want to see something new, Cynder, man, you know? And show me who you guys want to win this next game in the chat. Spam your favorite team's name.
Yeah, support your teams, send some Twitter love, because all of these players have come and showed up and they're playing the game. And I think that's important to note. You know, we do speak about one team that is taking it away, so to speak, but there are so many other good individuals as well as teams playing in this tournament, and you've got to take note of them. You have to, because come the finals, that's when everyone has to pitch up. You know, right now it's a little bit more lackluster. Everyone can take it a little bit slow and play to whatever pace is comfortable for them. But, you know, the finals, that's where the money is, and that's when it matters.
It is when it matters, but this game is going to matter a lot for the teams in the lobby that just weren't able to scrounge up some of those points that they really need so that they can push through into the gold tier. But yeah, you know, it's going to be hectic still nonetheless. And now we have to look at carries, because now they've gone twice down to DNMK. They're looking for this revenge in that, I feel. And it's sad, because, not really sad, it's just a bit unfortunate because they're not even in their rotation path, if you think about it. You know, DNMK is all the way towards that west side of the map, while you find carries towards the south side, and they just converge while DNMK is making these rounds around the map, and then things go south. Ascend haven't made much noise as well. You know, I thought I'd see a bit of showing from them, but it's tough for sure. EB Love, we saw them here and there, but yeah, you know.
I mean, it's difficult, when you're playing for points, you're playing for placement, and you want to make the best of every game, right? And then you have the likes of the more seasoned guys who are just kind of running away with it. Everyone at the day wants to win, but not everyone can. There's got to be a loser, and it's the way it is. It is what it is. But Kara carries again. They found themselves rotating, unfortunately, into DNMK, and the likes of Perses, who were rotating around, didn't opt a third party. Would that have been a different storyline had they third partied? Would DNMK maybe have found themselves in a sandwich and losing that fight? We'll never know. But it would be interesting to see if there are a bit more of these teams opting to take that kind of aggression and take a third party, because it can be quite useful in terms of being able to farm KP with little to no aggression involved, if that makes sense. Take a aggressive angle, but it doesn't mean you have to commit. You don't have to jump straight in. I mean, if you choose, you can.
If you choose, you can.
I mean, you're good.
Choose carefully, because you never know who you're jumping into for sure, right?
Very true.
And I mean, DNMK are looking to top off the night in a dominating performance still, and they should be topping off the group, these gold tier rounds, excuse me, with the most points, especially after how many kills they were able to fish up in that last lobby. And we're seeing some nice names pop up, at least on the DNMK squad, because it's always Cheetah Boy overarching the likes of Bradley and Vyaz, who just play more supportive roles. But I mean, Bradley had a saucy little 3K there, swooping around the corner with the rampage, So I mean, it's good to see that if it's one of those situations where you have a really good team where it's like, if the one isn't performing tonight, the other's got your back, and if that one doesn't have your back, that other one is there as well. So
sure.
It's always good to see that happening. She unit, I must commend their rotations. Looking great, honestly. They're getting into these end game positions. The fights are a little bit tough, but what can you do when all that chaos is breaking loose, to be honest with you?
There's only so much. It really is. Not even veteran players can deal with 9 different. It's so difficult. It really is to micromanage all of that happening at once. I don't envy them for a second, but that's what they have to do, and that's what is required to win these games. And speaking of games, we're going into our third and final game of the evening. So super excited, as perhaps we can see a wild card win coming out from one of the outlying teams. Do we see DNMK taking the 3P? And do we see a composition change?
Do we see a composition change?
Nah, probably not. Do we see a contest? Do we see a hot drop? Do we see anything different? Or are we just going to go with what works, what's safe, and rotate and get into the zone?
Safety is always one of the best
Safety
options.
first.
Safety first, man, Because, honestly, it's not safe in these streets, though. It's really not safe in these streets, man.
True.
If you're looking at the likes of DNMK, running around and just being able to clean up most of these lobbies.
Shout out to my boy, Element Tricks, dude. The lone warrior, the solo Bangalore. He's been able to do a few things, but he's gotten good placement throughout these games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, solos are just like part of Apex culture, We always love to see a good solo give a little bit of their very best to try get those very well needed points for the team. Some caustics there, the odd pathfinder. And once again, our champion banner to no surprise. It's the force that needs to be reckoned with. Please, somebody, anybody, honestly.
We look to carry Caramels to make that happen, as they are going to jump towards their favorite landing spot thus far. Oh, I also have the likes of Shambi's going a little bit further, and Element Tricks just taking that instant drop. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna, I'll catch up with you guys. I'll see you a little bit later.
I'll see y'all later, thanks. Not today, thanks.
True, but he might be in some trouble here, as there is someone landing on top of him. That would be interesting to see. I think they have singled him out, and there might just be a fight at that little rampart city there.
There might just be a big fight here. I mean,
surely they must know he's there.
Yeah, there's no ways. Oh, wait. Look at where Kara carries on.
Oh no.
Look
Oh,
at where
no.
carries are right now, ladies and gentlemen. They have taken up countdown. Indian MK are now forced to land together on a Lava Fisher. And this fight right here is really going to determine a lot, right, for carries if they wind up in DNMK's path. Because, I mean,
If you want to be the best, you got to take out the best. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And it's no surprise where they land. We all know where they land. You know, they don't change their drop spot in MK, and that's what it's like to be a dominant team, right? You have to maintain at least a specific area so you know they control this side of the map quite easily. The closest team to them right now is only in staging. So yeah, lots of teams have to make their rotation from the south side of the map, some on the east side towards where we find the two teams here.
Heavy ammo here.
Very true. Gibby Love with that beautiful Gibby on their team, along with the Bloodhound and the Valkyrie. Good composition, I like it. Informational, and you have that defensive dome and aggressive ulti if you must need it. Unfortunately, the lone solo has been eliminated, so we are down to 12 squads, 35 players in this lovely last game of the night. Everyone just holding their own. A little bit of fragment east, a few team. Oh, here comes the congestion. Here's what we want to see. We want to see carries going toe to toe with the likes of DNMK.
I just hope they're not sleeping, Cinder. If they're not awake, they've got a good position carries because they got the high ground.
They know what they're doing. They landed here. They want to take the aggressive. If they were sleeping, I would be
shocked. I'd be
shocked.
I'd
Yeah,
be worried.
for sure.
I'd be like, guys, come on. You guys really need to make sure that you're looking out for these fights. Cheetah's already taking a little bit of the gunfire. Yo, man, you know when you're just holding your breath and you don't know what to do? That's me right now.
Oh my goodness, the
Trinity.
Trinity. He's taking aggressive. Gibby Omen is coming out. The nade's trying to be flying. It's going to stop them from pushing any further. So we're just going to have to heal up inside this dome. But the going in the side of Aquil is able to get one of them broken. But the dome in response comes out. The massive shots rattling off. It does go onto the Bloodhound. They do trade a 1-2. It's now a 2v1 situation. And unfortunately, it's now a 1v1 situation.
Dynamic Esports! You can't stop them! Oh no, cut away, production!
No,
stop it! Gosh! No! Oh, dude. Oh.
Dude, the toxicity, the banter. Oh no, Linda. Oh, not the BM respawn.
On top of their boxes, dude. Like, you have to watch that. You know, you can't, like, anyways. Whew,
I'm sorry, just look away. Everyone just look away.
Dude, they actually had no business winning that fight because they had the armor disadvantage, and if you saw that coming into that. It's just the dome placement.
Did you see the dome placement and the nades?
Yeah.
Just changed it in their favor.
I mean, I don't want to be like, hey, I guess Dynamics winning this game as well, but like, hey, I mean, maybe Gibby Love has something to say about this, and Gibby Love is engaging into a little bit of a fight. Enjoy is gonna have to back off and pop this dome. There is some high ground coverage here from Pickle. The wingman shots connects for a little bit, but with this white armor, it's gonna have to back off quickly. Latches is really far behind, and the team is really disjointed for this fight. They don't want to be going out too early in the situation, so they're looking to just try and regroup.
Regroup they shall, but enjoy. Just enjoying that lava a little bit too much. But he's going to be safe. He's going to be happy, and the teams are split away from each other, thankfully. But it does stop one of the teams from getting into the zone as we switch over to Sheen 2. We're currently in a fight. But they seem to be okay now. Everything seems to be fine. No, they're continuing this aggression. It's still on the aggressive, but unfortunately Daniela is going to go down. We switch over to Sammy's POV as she is looking for one of the other remaining players. It seems like they're both trying to hunt as Misfortune goes to the high ground, and they're able to find the Valkyrie, and they're able to get the Kraken dive first. That is Ray's face, and Dovey's being eliminated. And Daniela is going to get picked up. So good job to She Unit. That was going to make quick work of that. But with that zone coming in, they're going to have to make the rotation. But that's KP on the board for them. I'm sure they won't be too unhappy with that.
Yeah, some very much needed points coming out of this one with the closing of these gold tier games. And I mean, DNMK just has full control of that side of the map. I'd be curious to see what the next zone pool is. 'Cause, yeah, there you go. I mean, hey, just just call it Christmas and wrap it up. They got a nice spot. We got those LEKP. And there's still a lot of teams that are going to have to fight on this rotation. And I mean, this is looking like a good way to close up the night.
A good way indeed. Unfortunately, with the early elimination of Caramels, it's not looking like there's going to be many teams contest the reign of DNMK, who seem to be still in that countdown area. I'm sure they're chuckling aside to themselves what they were able to accomplish there, but look down here, look towards Harvester. We do see the likes of She Unit moving into what seems to be two different teams holding from different angles. I'm not sure if they're going to be aware of this. Misfortune also not fully healed up. She needs to just get a medkit going or something, because unaware to them, they might be fighting. Oh, thankfully they were able to spot one of the teams out. So might be able to make something happen here, but they're opting for a wider rotation to cross up this bridge, and that might just be the right play.
Might be the right play indeed to make. Alright, this is a nice little cheeky spot. Oh, Gibby's love. Oh no. Oh.
Not loving that.
Definitely not loving that. Will you get shot out the sky, Pickle? No. Alive for now.
It's just chilling, vibing in the air, remember that guy? In the best time.
Yeah, those banners are just lost cause though for the most part. The worst thing is you're going deeper into the zone, so you just like, I don't know, man. Like, I get it because you have to escape, but it's gonna be so detrimental to meds and etc. etc. And even playing as solo, you need to make sure you're worrying about that kind of stuff, right?
Very, very true. Resource management is very key. And speaking of resource management, Ascend Esports doing a lazy little rotation through Fragment. They seem to be doing okay. Got everything to their name, even got a respawn beacon in hand should they need it. Pray to God that they don't. But there are other people within the Fragment area that team
cheeky
still
little
have.
Lava Siphon finish as well.
Very interesting. 4 teams already opting for that early rotation, as we still continue to see more methodical approach coming out from the likes of She Unit, as well as Coldest team lurking very close by. I wonder if they have the audio cue yet. I'm sure they must have. They surely have, as these caustic barrels are being placed, just in case, as there's the shot, there's the cue. And you can hear that scan in the background, so is She Unit going to want to fight this?
Knowing She Unit, they're just waiting, holding off a little bit. But Ascend, on the other hand, are one of those teams that do like to aggress fights, so they might just go in for this. They're popping the ulti. This is about to be a gunfight here, ladies and gentlemen. The caustic gas is going to be a big deterrent, and there's also like GB ulti on top of that. The thermite is going to be thrown in by Calder. Will he be able to swoop on in? No, because that gas is there and holding things off. And this is where you see the caustic pick coming in so clutch for She Unit. Sethi's going to try to climb up over here and try to get a cheeky angle to work on with. But the gas is just a deterrence, and they're just being held off right now. Ascend the Esports. But hey, they might find a cheeky armor crack, find an angle. 2 times on a Mastiff? Alright, Shambis, this is something else. The ulti is also popped, and time is starting to tick away as well, right? So you need to be worrying about all of these parameters while taking up this fight. And someone needs to make a call on whether they're going to hold on off or they're going to keep on pushing into this one, Cynder.
She Unit doing their absolute best to hold their ground, and they're doing so well with the likes of Sammy on that caustic. She's been able to throw the ulti, but the fight has started and Calder's going to get down low, but I'm sure there's equal damage traded between the two. Sammy does go down first, unfortunately, and Sethi is going to get that kill, but they still need to deal with the remaining 2 players as they go into the bubble. It's an all-out brawl right now as Sethi pulling out the Sentinel, trying to go for a cheeky little shot. He is going to get that headshot onto this Fortune, and that is unfortunately She Unit being eliminated.
Oh my gosh. Wake me up on a damn Friday night. Hello. That was a saucy shot. DNMK looking for some more kills. Nothing new on this side for them. They're holding down their turf as they love to land on the spot. Crypto in play, quite interesting. Cheetah's in a bit of an open area, but we'll find some cover to pop this battery. Defensive bombardment as well is going to be thrown on both teams right now. And
Interesting approach coming from Cheetah Boy. Spends that early Q, but that does allow them to force himself in as Vizu gets a knock onto Shawnee. Triple M also going down. The last remaining player gets cleaned up. Exterminator goes out. Exterminated that team is what DNMK just did. But there is a lurking third-party Purses. They did hear the shots, but unfortunately the fight is long over. They are going to see if they can sneak a few shots in, maybe just to level up those Evos regardless. Or get the information they require. But they have got Dorito. And this is a pivotal building going into the zone. We've seen the zone pull to this many a time as we start to see more of these teams late rotating in.
Wonderful thing about custom lobbies now is the kill feed is fully anonymous, right? So right now you're like, is that DNMK? Are we sure that's DNMK? You know, when you're looking at the team of Princes, you don't really know exactly what's happening. Apex Scrubs cleaning up NJ here. That's just a little bit unfortunate. Caught off guard in this position. Zone imminent. This a little bit of a fight that might break up here over here. The Sunday Esports. We'll just come out of that fight against Unit. Chambies goes down, just down Sun, and definitely you are sitting down. Aim assist looking to be aggressive on this one. The dome is popped. Swoops on him, gets a nice headshot, but not for much damage. And it's just trying to punch through. And aim assists are dropping 2 all of a sudden. And now it's all up to the Ash to swoop on in. Confirm the kills. That's gonna be a Cindy spot out, edge of zone. And Cinder, do you wanna know what? It's because they took so long against that fight with She Unit. And ultimately, is She Unit won that fight by griefing them and keeping them there for that long.
That is very true. Very unfortunate to see. Push back over to DNMK.
What is this?
As
What
they're prepping the ulti, what is
an
the aggressive ulti? Interesting enough, it's going to stop them, but that allows Cheetah Boy to push some sides and try and rattle off some master shots here. But he is going to get deterred by that thermite, and Arc start to follow. He's going to try approach from another door. Is able to get 33 onto the right, and Nate comes out. The dome is saving though. All the team and the cavalry has arrived as they start to push into this. Cheetah Boy being humbled. 1 player down, 2 players down. Yennefer to hold, and unfortunately, she's going to do as much as she can. Does get 1 down, but unfortunately just not enough. Once again, DNMK taking the fight to them.
Systematically clearing some of these
Every
buildings.
single time.
Every single time, systematically clearing. And some great game awareness from Cheetah Boy. Instead of overextending initially in that fight, that would have put them in a disadvantage earlier. I had to just stop and wait and see, dude. I just like Pickle. Oh man, that's just unfortunate. Okay, so Pickle in that situation.
Bye, Pickle.
Bye.
Head on the swivel.
Oh, that sucks.
4 squads, 4 teams of 3 as we go into our 3rd zone. It's going to be quite difficult burning ZA, taking a few shots, but they're going to be fine. ZA 420 finding themselves a little bit of a fight to work with, but not for long because DNMK's at the door and they're ready to humble you once again. The nades coming out, the scan to follow, I'm sure. There it is, giving all the information that they're going to need. They're going to get the crack onto the Valkyrie and they're going to get a beautiful beam coming out from Bradley onto Povo. It's just going to be such a cleanup in seconds. Seconds, Thendo. That was what, 5-10 seconds tops.
Just alleviated immediately there.
Evicted.
Just exterminated, man. Damn. And they're looking for more. They just keep on going. Apex Scrubs gotta be looking at that like, wait, those guys just killed those people and they're looking to kill us now again? Whoa, we gotta chill. Aim assist as well. Just lingering on the outskirts here. They still need to make their way into most of the zone that DNMK controls. And now they've even split up the DNMK squad just to make sure they can clear all these angles.
How much ground they're covering, Thendo. I mean, never in a million years in a custom would you see that much ground being taken by 3 players.
Yeah.
And look, the fear The fear of even entering the zone right now from these two remaining teams. It's so prevalent.
It's just immense, honestly, because one wrong move, you end up in that third-party situation. It's that triangle once again that we find ourselves in, and you don't want to be caught. Won't connect for too much damage, at least Fires.
I feel like Vayazu just doesn't have a cooldown on that ulti. It's always up every time we look at his POV.
Dude, it's like always up, dude. Oh no, Apex Scrubs are in a tough spot already. Cheetah Boy is soloed onto this position right here, and is just mowing down, actually with Bradley, while Bias is just holding on towards the center side, and they're just running around, man. They're just having some fun, you know. I'm talking about like, hey, where you guys at? You guys are running, but we'll be running after you.
Thanks for playing, but you know, I think we had our fun. We're ready to go back to ranked and get a few points in Fred. As aim assist the last, or one of the last remaining teams. There's only a solo remaining on the final team, so aim assist sit down, got that down. I'm not freshy and Loopy to follow. Oof, one does go down, thankfully. So Vayazu is down, but quick enough. Loopy aim assist still has 2 up, so there is hope here. They still need to finish up Bradley, who's full armor, but oh no! Freshie goes down, and that's going to be the last remaining player to follow. Bradley needs to get the race. Vayazu has been tested out. This could be an opportunity for Shadow. Should he make it in time? Shadow pushing up with that R301. He's able to spot the race. He gets one down before the armor swap. Thendo, it's a 1v1 situation right now. Stealth pushing up on that Mastiff. He's able to lay a few shots on, but he's
going crazy with
missing.
the Spitfire! Stealth can't do much about it! You thought you might have had it, but the man is still up, Bradley. He's gonna kick down the door. FBI open up. Will the battery pop in time? It does! The Mastiff shots are flying as well. Stealth is down to no HP once again. Bradley doesn't get it! Apex Scrubs! Out of nowhere! Bradley can't clutch it up!
Yo.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I didn't expect it to end like that.
We have our Apex champions.
Just looking for too much TNMK at the end there, unfortunately. Just a little too much. Stealth Shadow. It's in the name, you know. Stealthy like, pulls on in. And even after the re-crack of the armor, Bradley couldn't get it, man. And I mean, unable to go back-to-back 3 games tonight, DNMK. I mean, I think we're all in shock on exactly how that broke down, but I mean, wow. What a way to end the night. Quite a bit of a shocker.
Oh, wait, man. I am so proud of you, Scrubs. You played your hearts out and you came out on top in that final game, ending the reign of DNMK in the most honorable fashion possible. And man, Thendo, not what we were expecting.
No, yeah, not what we were expecting.
Wow.
Just built different, honestly. At the end over there to clutch it up.
It came down to the very last, literally 20 HP on both players, and they were able to win it out. But Thendo, what does that mean for next week? What does that mean going into the rest of this grouping?
DNMK does bleed, even if it's right at the end. So, you know,
Indeed.
you just need to make sure you put them under a lot of pressure, and they will falter eventually. And I mean, with that, we're moving in to more of these platinum tier games where the lobbies are going to be a lot more stacked. We'll probably have fuller lobbies on top of that. And now people can start to sense the money because it's getting close, right? Just one more stage after this. You just need to come top 20 after that to get into that grand finals weekend. And I mean, after all the action that we've seen, we've got some new names to be looking out for, some new teams as well. And yeah, you know, just what a way to end it off there. I just did not expect the solo to come and clutch and just to go to show you in Apex Legends, it's never over until the fat lady sings, you know?
Very, very true. Well, thank you so much for having me tonight, Thendo. I'm looking forward to seeing all these games going into this coming week and more, and most importantly, that final. But any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts on my side, guys. Just, you know, make sure you followed up on the Esports ZA channel because, you know, some more content is going to be popping through, especially over on Twitter and the Instagram. It's been me, Thendoplays, and Cyndalive. We'll catch you guys next week as we continue more of these battles, more of these gripping moments in the EGL Apex.